attacking a pro-Israel march in Boulder, Colorado. For now, he's facing weapons and assault and murder charges, though so far we know of no deaths.
8 people were burned by the suspect using what is described as a makeshift flamethrower.
The suspect was heard to yell, "Free Palestine," during the attack.
Mark McCulloch with the FBI in Boulder. The victims were participating in a march to support hostages held by Hamas in Gaza.
There's a woman who was on the ground bleeding out. Oh my gosh, sorry. And then there are 2 other women whose calves were burned.
The suspect is identified as an Egyptian national named Mohammed Sabri Soliman, and authorities say he is illegally present in the country, having overstayed his visa.
That's Fox's Evan Brown. As they protested Hamas still holding hostages, Israel hit Hamas with more airstrikes in Gaza, where Palestinian officials say at least 14 people were killed the day after 31 died when gunshots hit a crowd near a food distribution site. Israel denies it's responsible, saying they only fired warning shots and not at civilians. Russia and Ukraine holding direct talks today in Turkey, but they've been far apart so far, trying to work out a ceasefire. After Ukraine's biggest attack inside Russia over the weekend, Fox's Peter Doocy reports from the White House.
We were told yesterday that President Trump was actually given no heads up during the year and a half of planning by Ukraine for these complex drone strikes against Russian long-range bombers at various airfields.
That's Fox's Peter Doocy again at the White House. The Senate is working this week on the House-passed Big Beautiful Bill, as President Trump calls it, to fund his agenda from border security to tax cuts. Some Republicans won't support it until there are more spending cuts. GOP Senator Ron Johnson tells Fox Sunday Morning Futures the bill will make the national debt bigger.
My loyalty is to the American people, to my kids and grandkids. We cannot continue to mortgage their future.
America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A private ceremony for Jim Irsay. You've got a clear radar, 52 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. We're going up to 83 today. I'm Ryan Hedrick for Window Nation. Here's what's trending at 9:02. Family and friends will gather at St. Luke's United Methodist Church today at noon for a private memorial for Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay, who died of an undisclosed cause last month. Noblesville police say they've arrested Carmel's chief infrastructure officer, Jeremy Michael Cashman, on 2 felony counts of domestic battery. Court records indicate this case has to do with 2 kids under the age of 16. Cashman appeared in court last week. A jury trial has been set for December 16th. The city of Carmel says they've placed Cashman on unpaid administrative leave. The Monroe County Board of Commissioners is calling it political theater. A new list from the Department of Homeland Security labels the county as a sanctuary county.
From a president who views all immigrants as villains. The DHS list of sanctuary cities has since been removed from the agency's website. When asked if Monroe County was originally on the list, a DHS official would only tell News 8 the list is being constantly reviewed and can be changed at any time and will be updated regularly.
That's Wish TV's Cody Fisher reporting. On Saturday.
I don't even have words right now, man. It's really exciting. We'll enjoy this one for now. There's 4 more. There's a lot more work to do against a really tough team.
That's Indiana Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton reacting after Saturday night's win over the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, a win that sent the Pacers to the NBA Finals for the first time in 25 years.
There's a lot of fans who, have never seen this success from this organization, especially people around my age. They weren't alive for it. So, it's really special what we're doing, and we're just trying to keep making this a special place, a place where people want to come and people want to watch and want to be a part of. And, this is a really, really special group.
And the Pacers take on the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals. Game 1 on Thursday in OKC at 8:30. If you need to gas up, you could expect to pay about $3.08 a gallon. That's up 14 cents from last week. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. With traffic, here's Jeremy Scott.
Well, Ryan, if you're traveling on the north side, good news. That earlier crash on 465 westbound after Michigan has been cleared up. Both directions, though, still tied around Meridian and ditched through that little curve there. 65 northbound heavy from 465 to the south split with 69 southbound delays from 96 into 82nd. Traffic is sponsored by Payday, packed with peanuts and filled with golden caramel. Payday is one hard-working candy bar, so grab one now to power you through the day. Payday Peanut Caramel Bar, get to it. I'm Jeremy Scott with traffic on the 5s. Follow us on X at WIBC Traffic.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text PACK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful Fed incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text PEC to 321-321. That's PACK to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Trust employee owned. B Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to B.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies, very warm temperatures, but quiet. Today's high 83, partly cloudy skies. Tonight, comfortably cool, a low of 59. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
It's 53 degrees in the capital city. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the go. And at WIBC.com, Kendall and Casey starts right now.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Rules for thee, Casey. Rules for thee, but not for me.
Yeah, some people are different, right?
This is such a wild thing that I learned over the weekend. I guess maybe I'd heard it before, but it never actually hit home until this latest topic we're about to discuss. It's Kendall and Casey. I'm Rob. That's Casey. She's back.
Yes, you missed me, didn't you?
How was your trip? I mean, you were in about
I
9
checked out.
states.
Yeah, I completely checked out. And then I realized as I was approaching Indiana and I was getting re-familiar with everything that had been going on. So the lieutenant governor said something controversial. The Secretary of State's on another trip in a foreign country. And we have another state rep that allegedly had a cocktail or two and got behind the wheel. So pretty much status quo.
Yeah,
haven't we seen this story before?
Well, here's what I didn't want to do. I did not really communicate at all with Casey until yesterday because I didn't want to bother you because you were on your vacation.
And I'm telling you, I checked out.
That's great, and I love that you can do that. I am not able to do that whatsoever. If I am gone for 3 hours, I get nervous that I've missed something. But you do have the ability to completely remove yourself from the equation, but I don't have the ability to do that at all. So this came to my attention yesterday. There is the alleged story itself, and then there's actually a bigger part of this, which is the fact of the thing that our lawmakers can get away with, which is completely disgusting. So let's start with the allegation itself. Now, this was presented to me back in, I think this was maybe February. This came to my attention, and there was just a million things going on, and I was half paying attention. It was in the middle of all the property tax stuff that allegedly a state lawmaker, a state senator, had been pulled over for a DUI. And at the time, I'm just thinking to myself, okay, yeah, whatever. It'll come out in the paper, blah, blah, blah. I got a million other things working on. That's not like a breaking story that I've got to stop and everything I'm doing and deal with. And nothing comes of it, and you're thinking, okay, well, maybe that was just false information, blah, 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 whatever. Well, then this same story over the weekend comes back to my attention again from multiple sources, including what I would label an A source. Like, this is a person who is in the know, who has a sterling reputation, who I have known for many, many years, who would not make something up. They would not go out of their way to make something up. And then they told me the source that they had confirmed this from, and I would say it's a very, very good source. So I'm like, okay, well, what is going on? How could this have happened in the session months ago and it not make the news. You look this person up. By the way, we're not going to name the person today. I have reached out to the senator's office in question. I have presented them with the information. I've said, would you like to confirm this, deny this, make a comment of some sort? Right. They have not gotten back to me as of yet. Now, we're going to follow up with a phone call here pretty soon. And then if we don't hear anything, maybe tomorrow we're going to come out with it. Because I have backed this up now from multiple other sources inside the State House that this was known to allege to have happened. So we want to give this person, we think like
give them the opportunity.
We think 4 or 5 months is plenty of time to do the, to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Apparently, in the legislative session, these lawmakers, not only by law, but by the Constitution, cannot be arrested or prosecuted. They've exempted themselves from any sort of accountability as it relates to law enforcement during the Indiana General Assembly while it's in session. And on top of that, 15 days before and after.
Yeah. 15 days before the commencement and after the termination of each session, they get a little padding there, Rob, just in case something is going to happen before or if they're blowing off some steam afterwards.
Now, here's what it actually says. Indiana law provides legislators with certain immunities from civil arrest during specific periods related to the legislative sessions. According to Indiana Code Title 34, Article 29, Chapter 2, Section 1, you're scoring at home. That's IC 34-29-2-1. Members of the General Assembly are immune from arrest in all cases except treason, felony, and breach of the peace during the session of the General Assembly, as well as for a period of 15 days before the commencement and after the termination of the session.
Yeah.
So you put this out there, and then there are some state government people who are like, well, they do that so that they can't be arrested by people in order to keep them from voting. What year is this? 1872? You mean to tell me that you are saying that in 2025, we view the Republican Party leadership as so untrustworthy that we are concerned that they will arrest people who disagree with them? You are telling me that Rod Bray and Todd Houston are viewed as so untrustworthy, we are concerned they are going to arrest people who may not vote the way that they want, but yet we're supposed to believe that these people are on the up and up when it comes to voting for us?
They're going to work in our best interest. They have to have a special law so that they don't go off the deep end and do something absolutely crazy, but yet trust them when they say they're looking out for your best interest.
So, again, I've reached out to the senator in question. By the way, it is, and like I said, here's the other part of this. I talked to multiple ironclad, I would call these ironclad sources in the State House who said we were aware of the allegation during session, which that means there's no way like rank and file people, not just in the General Assembly, but workers in the State House were aware of these allegations and the party leadership was not, and they said nothing. Whether the guy can legally be held accountable or not, how could the allegations be out there and there's nothing? And these allegations, by the way, are in specific detail. Like multiple people who are not connected to each other gave me the identical scenarios by which this thing allegedly went down. So that means it's everywhere. And the party leadership
look the other way.
Said and done nothing.
Ain't no big deal. So this isn't justice. What this is elitism wrapped up in legal privilege. It's a double standard. Elected officials are playing by a different rule book than you are. If this happened to you, guess what?
Oh, can you imagine if Rob Kendall got a DUI?
Front page
of
do you think
every.
you'd be sitting in that chair still?
No. And front page of every newspaper. And this guy, if indeed it did happen, or lawmakers have before, I think we can say that with certainty, evaded the scrutiny. Because let's face it, with the DUI, a big part of the defense against this, if you're a public person, is the public shame that would come with that. Hey, you're in the paper. Hey, there's a mugshot. Hey, everybody knows you did this. Now, nothing happens to you. See Jim Lucas, where you can not only drive drunk and blow through a barricade, you can flee the scene, you can hide your car, you can lie to the cops, you can do whatever, and
Still hold your job.
Not only do you not get fired, they'll give you $50,000 or so for your reelection campaign.
Right, to run again.
To help you get
Keep
reelected.
going.
But at least there is some public stain upon you that this happened. And in this case, allegedly, and it has happened before, which we know it has happened before, not with this specific individual, but with lawmakers, this thing, you're 4 or 5 months on before the public is even aware. Oh, and by the way, it makes it almost impossible unless you have sources to get information because it still hasn't been processed because of the way they're exempted from things.
Right.
So you can slow walk. So if you're the media trying to get information, boy, howdy, Casey, how hard is that to get information?
So if you're an average Hoosier, you could be arrested at any time. But if you're a lawmaker here in Indiana, it's like you have a legal force field surrounding you.
Yes, because you make the rules.
Right.
You make the rules. Okay, so like I said, we have reached out to the person in question. We're going to give them every opportunity to respond today. I will follow up with a phone call here shortly if we do not hear back from them. I would assume that that there's going to be a statement issued in some capacity because we know above all else these lawmakers are insistent that this show not get any wins, and they don't want us being the person to make the big announcement on this. But what other recourse do we have other than to reach out? If you're not going to respond, we can't obviously force law enforcement or the lawmaking or the legal process to do anything, and they've given themselves these exemptions. Like, how do you even like force the hand on anything on this? I mean, it's totally the system is rigged beyond belief
against you.
Yes, and in favor of these people.
Yes.
This is utterly ridiculous that the public
Holding
is not
office
able.
certainly has its privileges.
Yeah, it
doesn't
sure does, doesn't it? So we'll again, all allegations, very detailed allegations. But we will wait, and we will see if the people are going to respond today and what that response is before we say something.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
In 49 states, it's just basketball, but this is Indiana.
It's been a quarter of a century since Indiana has gone to the finals.
I don't even have words right now, man. It's really exciting.
This team thrives in adversity, man. All the credit to the Gamebridge Fieldhouse fans. You guys lifted us up today.
This place is absolutely electric.
Listen to the Pacers in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Coverage starts Thursday at 8, tip-off at 8:30 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
So are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you're going to be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during these hot days of summer. Beat the heat and keep the AC in your home with Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. Buy 4 windows, get 4 windows for free during their big, awesome semi-annual sale and a free entry door when you purchase a house of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, no monthly payments until 2027. Get this deal, lock it in right now, but you have to say Hammer and Nigel sent you. You don't get the deal unless you say Hammer and Nigel sent you. The big semi-annual sale from Window Nation. Buy 4 windows, get 4 windows for free, a free entry door when you purchase a house of windows. You don't pay anything until 2027. Schedule that free estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Adventure is calling. Life Church invites kids ages 4 years old through 5th grade to True North, a fun-filled vacation Bible school where they'll discover how to follow Jesus, our ultimate guide. Join us June 9th through the 13th for games, music, crafts, and Bible stories that point kids to God's truth. It's completely free. Register now at lifechurchin.com. Life Church, leading kids to Jesus, the true north.
At Hendricks, our cancer care
is in the details.
When you are with us, and you have our time and you have our energy.
We have a wonderful team of highly trained oncologists, physical therapists, speech pathologists, dietitians.
Always making sure that the patient is the center of the care.
We have excellent nurse navigation that are skilled at identifying barriers to treatment,
as well as expertise from Mayo Clinic.
It is more personal care than just a number.
Visit hendricks.org/cancer.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
101 West Ohio, Indianapolis. CordellCordell.com.
When you golf in Missouri, the courses are so close, you'll spend more time on the fairway than the freeway. After the back nine, enjoy world-class dining and distilleries, shops, spas, museums, and more. Find your new golf MO at visitmo.com.
Well, Casey, you were gone, but as a Hoosier lifer, and I know in the case of that for me, and in the case of you, someone who spent a lot of their life in Indiana, it was a very special weekend.
Yeah.
With the Pacers.
Yeah.
For the first time in 25 years. They're heading to the NBA Finals.
I know. It was incredible. So, Indy, the center of the sports universe, for an entire week and a half, it just kept going. The Indy 500, and then the Pacers, and then, wow, the celebration that took place was incredible.
It's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. You know what's like? Time is so interesting because the Pacers made the NBA Finals last in 2000, and from the time in the mid late 70s, from when they came into the NBA from the ABA, the merger, to 2000, that seems like when I was a kid. So I would have been in high school when the Pacers last went to the NBA Finals. That seemed like, and I remember talking about that, like after all these years, we finally made it to the NBA Finals. All of these years. Well, if you look at 77, 78 to 2000. That's 23-ish years. Well, it has now been longer from when the Pacers were last in the NBA Finals to today than from when the Pacers first came into the NBA to the year 2000. And yet in my mind, that was just like yesterday that they were in the NBA Finals. Even though it's a longer period of time, and when you're a kid, you think back and go, 20 plus years. Oh my gosh, that was forever ago. And like time, it's so interesting how the time as you get older, your perception of time becomes swayed dramatically.
So I saw while I was gone that John Mellencamp said something silly.
Yes, we did a whole dramatic reading of that.
Yeah.
He's just, I mean, this guy is just what a complete pompous ass, and just sucks the life and the fun out of absolutely everything. But you think about this city and what the Pacers have actually meant to the city of Indianapolis, and obviously going back to the ABA days and the foundation of Market Square Arena, which was such a footprint of the early days of the rising up of the city of Indianapolis. And you think about the legendary characters, not just players, but characters that have been a part of this franchise, the Slick Leonards, the Reggie Millers, all of these people. And it's so great for those people who have been longtime Pacers fans. And I'm talking people like us, we are fans of the Pacers because of the city of Indianapolis, and they represent the city of Indianapolis. But I'm talking about like the hardcore Pacer fan people who go to all the games and wear their shirts and are in the fan clubs and, sit in the special sections and all of these things. What a great time for those people to be rewarded for those years and years of hard work.
So did you see that Tyrese Halliburton, he clapped back at Ben Stiller on social media? after the Pacers beat the Knicks. So Ben Stiller was mocking Halliburton's black duffel bag, and he said good thing he brought his duffel for the flight to New York. And Halliburton responded back with, nah, was to pack y'all up.
Well, so let's see. What did they 76. Yeah, 76 the Pacers came into the NBA. So that's 24 years, 25 years now. And look, they can win this series. Oklahoma City is very, very good. But I think they're good enough. There's a lot of momentum. It's fascinating, too, because as a 90s kid, there was such a love affair with those teams, the Reggie Miller, Rick Smits, Dale Davis, Antonio Davis. There was such a love affair with those teams, and that trip to the NBA Finals, while it wasn't exactly all of the same players from 93 to 2000, it was sort of the culmination of being a 90s kid growing up in the 90s. That was like the crescendo. It was Larry Bird's last year as a coach. They finally made it. They kind of got over the hump. All the times they had been close and been stymied by the Knicks, and then the series with the Magic, and then the Bulls. And how many times had we been to Game 7 and we could never finally do it, and then we finally did. And that was sort of like a culmination of the end of something, whereas this trip to the NBA Finals feels like the beginning of something. Halliburton's a young player. Siakam's in his prime.
Well, that's just it. I think you're touching on something really interesting. A lot of people are like, the Pacers and Oklahoma City, what's going on? I think you got to look at how players like LeBron, their time is moving on. And it's these new young and, Therese Halliburton, up-and-comers that are the future of the NBA.
Yes, so very exciting. I think the best years of the Pacers are ahead of them. They seem like a cohesive, they're going to keep the team together. And let's not kid ourselves. A big part of, and we talk sports here, it's not just because there's a sports station that talks sports, but we talk about the societal relevance of sports. And the city of Indianapolis, the state of Indiana, has invested. You have, if you're hearing our voice right now, you have invested a lot of money in the Pacers financially. The repeated renovations of Conseco Fieldhouse, tax incentives, et cetera, et cetera. And you want that to pay off, not just because of a civic pride or a pride of the team. You want that to pay off financially. And every time there's an additional playoff game that's at home, which we know we'll get at least 2 more, there's a huge boon to the city of Indianapolis, a huge uplifting of the financial impact that has. I mean, I know everybody wanted them to win Game 5 in New York, but having an extra playoff game with all of these people in downtown Indianapolis, all of these people at bars, at restaurants, hotels, putting money into the city, that is part of why we invest in this team. It's more than just civic pride. People who aren't fans of basketball have a vested interest in this team doing well economically, and the amount of attention your city gets now, being in the finals with the NBA, and then these 2 additional at least. We hope it's at least 3, or actually we hope they sweep the series. Probably not going to happen, but there is a great economic value to your team doing well in the postseason.
Yep, Pacers face the Oklahoma City Thunder in the finals. That begins on Thursday, and later on we're going to talk about how Shaq closed out that last ever Inside the NBA on TNT. He had some selective words.
Can we crap all over Todd Young when we come back? Is that possible? I've been waiting all weekend to do this. This seems like a lot of fun.
He did a little interview. It looked like the interviewer was paid and reading from a script, but we'll hear everything Todd Young had to say coming up from 93 WIBC.
Are you planning for your retirement? Ensure you're on the right track with a crucial step, tax planning. At Absolute Wealth Management, LLC, every retirement plan we design includes comprehensive tax planning. Imagine maximizing your savings while minimizing tax burdens. Tax planning isn't just about the present. It's a cornerstone for retirement planning. The less you have to give to Uncle Sam, the more cash flow you have in retirement. So take control of your financial situation. Proper tax planning can help optimize your retirement income, leaving you with more time to enjoy the life you've worked hard for. Let us help you create a tax-efficient retirement plan. Your future self will thank you. Call Absolute Wealth Management, LLC, 317-288-0634. That's 317-288-0634. Or visit AbsoluteWealthManagementLLC.com. William Gonzalez offers investment advisory service through Gradient Advisors, LLC, 877-885-0508, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Absolute Wealth Management is not a registered investment advisor nor an affiliate of Gradient Advisors. Gradient Advisors, LLC, and its advisors do not render tax, legal, or accounting advice. Insurance offered through William Gonzalez, independent agent.
High-quality quality fine jewelry.
On the level, on the go.
The FBI says it was an illegal immigrant who carried out a terrorist attack on American soil. You have a clear radar, 60 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Your high today, 83. I'm Ryan Hedrick, and here's what's trending at 9:30.
We know who the bad guys are. It's Hamas, and we know Israel's our dearest and closest friend, our dearest and closest ally.
Republican Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio speaking about a terrorist attack on Fox News that took place in Boulder, Colorado Sunday.
This whole anti-Semitism stuff just has to be condemned.
8 people were injured, and the man who attacked a pro-Israel gathering with a makeshift flamethrower. Diddy's prison outfit from the film Monsters Balls is headed to the auction. The costume worn by the rapper in his role as Lawrence Musgrave in the 2001 drama includes a gray hoodie, jeans, and a one-cut leg and black slip-on shoes. He wore the outfit in the early scenes of the movie before his character was executed. Bidding opens on June 7th. Diddy is wearing a real prison outfit these days as he's charged with racketeering and sex trafficking. And now your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. All 3 major indices are down this morning. The Dow is down 138 to 42,270. The S&P down 21 to 59,1169. And the NASDAQ is down 107 to 21,340.99. I'm Ryan Hedrick, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hi, Jeff Roush for Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing on most all new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP 105,575, Nautilus MSRP 6195, Corsair MSRP 47,820. Offers going on now. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
High-quality fine jewelry doesn't have to come with a high price tag. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg is changing the game with prices up to 70% lower than what you'd find in those big-name jewelry stores or even those strip mall jewelry stores. They have brand-name watches, stunning fine jewelry, custom designs, all at unbeatable prices. You can browse their expanded selection in the cozy, charming setting of an 1888 farmhouse. Why would you want to pay more when you can get the best for less? Visit PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg today, or find them online, pajewelers.jewelry. Their phone number, 317-456-4010.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Siri, read me that text.
Sorry, I can't complete your request.
You want me to read that?
No, I got it.
Construction zone.
I see it.
Watch it. Oh my God. You're gonna hit him!
Oh, fuck!
When driving in a construction zone, be smart, be alert, be in the zone.
This is Brian Short, business manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save lives. We're all in this together.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection.
Who are they? Well, they're a sister company of Rhino Shield, and Premier Deck Coating is the product you need if you're tired of applying the same old stain and paint every couple of years to your deck. It's Terry, Stacy, and David and I have a deck that's probably 25 years old. The countless hours and the money that we spend on maintaining that deck never ends. And then we heard about Premier Deck Coating. Family owned, based right here in Indy, and they are going to completely transform our deck with their special formulated product, which repels moisture, scratch resistant in virtually any color that we want, and backed by a 10-year guarantee. No more spending time staining or painting every year. Premier Deck Coating will keep our deck looking great for years to come. Premier Deck Coating can also do fences and pergolas too. For a free quote, call 317-696-4071 or visit premierdeckcoating.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Did you see the Senate Republicans? They're back to work.
Oh, great.
Yeah, returning to D.C. And they're talking about the big, beautiful bill.
Think about the amount of time these people are not working.
Mm-hmm.
It's a staggering amount if you add it up throughout the course of the year that these people are not working, that they're not in Washington, D.C. doing their actual jobs, which may actually be best for us, though, because they can't do any damage if they're not actually there.
If they're not there. But aren't they the ones that raised their hand and said, pick me?
Well,
I can do the job.
This is... And, you know, you really do see this play out in terms of, and we obviously we opened our show talking about these special rules, these special exemptions that lawmakers locally have where they can't be arrested during the legislative session. You see this play out in Washington, D.C. with special rules like with the insider trading, that they do things that if you or I did it, we'd go directly to federal prison, and yet they write the laws so that they are exempted. There's a reason people fight so hard to get these positions and then do nothing. I mean, you think about how hard campaigns are actually run. You would, a logical person would say, as hard as these campaigns are run and the amount of money that is spent, you would assume the majority of people would be going to Washington, D.C. ready to have a frickin' revolution the way they fight to get these positions. And then they go there and they don't do anything.
No, they're fighting to line their own pockets.
Yes, bingo. That's right. They are fighting to enhance their own stature, their own power, and line their own pockets. 100% right, Casey. Absolutely. And you are seeing this play out in terms of this. By the way, I know you were gone. We dubbed it the Big Bullcrap Bill.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's the new name for the bill, where you have, once again, these huffers and puffers over there on the House side. It's always the same group of people who, this is bad and that is bad and blah, blah, blah. And then they vote for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's interesting on the Senate side is they can only lose 3 Republicans. Assuming they won't get any Democrat votes. And if indeed the Rand Paul, Ron Johnson, stereo salesman, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, phenomenal in that role, and the Mike Lee people stand firm, I don't know how you're going to square that with the Murkowski, Collins, Holly people who want no changes made to a highly fraudulent, broken system in Medicaid. I don't know how you're going to square this. I would assume that everyone other than Rand Paul will probably back down and they'll just water this bill down. But then it's got to go back to the House, and the Freedom Caucus people have already laid a line. We didn't want to vote for this one, and we did. So I don't know how this is all going to end, but it won't end well for the people who actually care about the debt and our responsibilities and getting out of the legalized vote buying business. And it never ends well for us. So I'm just sitting back enjoying the, what's the meme with the little dog where the fire's behind him and he's going, this is fine.
Yeah,
it's all fine.
Everything's fine. Well, then you've got people like Sparks who say they vote yes just to advance the legislation so that it can go over to the Senate so they can do whatever they're going to do, and then it's going to get kicked back to her and see what sort of situation it's in.
Think about, apply this logic to your life, because that's the thing, right? We've got to keep it going. We've got to keep it moving. Remember during the property tax bill with Senate Bill 1, we got to keep it going. Think in your life, if you own a business or you help run a business, or even if you're just buying something of some level of great expense, a car or whatever. Hey, I went to the car dealership and they offered me a really crappy deal on this automobile, and it's not that great of a car, and they're going to force me to really overpay, and they're basically taking me to the cleaners. But I've got to keep coming back to the dealership because I got to keep the negotiations going.
Let's keep this negotiation going.
No, you would never do that. You would walk away. You would extend both of your middle fingers in their direction and say, I'm going somewhere else, kiss both of my butt cheeks. But here, we've got to keep it going.
Yeah. So Senator Todd Young, he participated in an exclusive interview.
The Duke of Spendingburg.
The Duke of Spendingburg.
Now, for those of you who are new to the program, we call Todd Young the Duke of Spendingburg because he is the highest spending Republican in the U.S. Senate. Of those that are still left, he is one of the highest spending senators, period. Don't know what the number is now because I just stopped keeping track after we went past 11 trillion. I believe he's voted to add something probably now close to 15 or 16 trillion to the national debt since he's been a U.S. senator elected in 2016. What's he doing? What's he doing now?
He's a fiscal hawk now.
Oh, boy, howdy, Case, you don't say.
So he was with the Washington Examiner doing this interview. They were talking mostly about the big bullcrap bill. And listen to this. He actually said that people in red states demand fiscal responsibility. You know what he is? He's like one of those bosses that are so bad that when you become the boss, you know how not to do it. Like,
so wait. Is he trying to? Well, maybe I should just hear this first because I don't want to.
We have a couple clips.
Oh, okay.
So it's great.
Well, I don't want to. I don't want to jump the gun. I want to. I always want to give Spendingburg because he's such a man of integrity and honesty and really a tough guy. I mean, of course he needed an armed deputy sheriff when he saw me out in public before he tried to bow up and come at me there at the Stack's Pancake House. He didn't want to do it on his own. But I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I want to hear what he has to say before I pass judgment.
Okay. Well, here he is advocating for fiscal restraint.
People in red states, they demand fiscally responsible government. They demand it from their own governments, and they certainly demand that their federal legislators go to bat for them so they don't have to subsidize other state and locality profligate.
Okay, so he's talking about the SALT tax reduction there.
Oh, okay. So SALT, state and local tax deductions, in which this bill now allows people who live in high tax states to take those local and state income taxes they'll pay in New York and California, and you're forced to subsidize that. Now, that would be like not anything like taking billions of dollars from people and giving it to some of the wealthiest corporations in the world, like with the CHIPS Act. Like, that'd be totally separate. In my subsidizing is fine when it's with my big business buddies, whom, some of them might just happen to throw, a shekel or two in my campaign contribution fund. That's okay, Case. But if it's subsidizing people in high tax states, well, I'm totally against that.
Okay, so despite helping move a bill forward that has some massive spending in it.
Yeah.
He's branding himself as a fiscal hawk. He's focusing his messaging on cutting waste and promoting tax code simplification. Here he is applauding the Freedom Caucus and their voices.
The Freedom Caucus has been a really important voice throughout this whole tax reform debate. I have encouraged them to make sure that as we reauthorize many of the provisions of the 2017 tax law, the Trump tax cuts, we're also looking to reform some of the largest programs of government and get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse within those programs. They're important programs to all Americans.
Stop. Now, Landon is filling in for Kevin for the next, it's a week, and Landon's doing a phenomenal job. Landon, you will find I have to have you stop audio because if I don't, then I start... You know how I get, Case. Like, I'm trying to save everyone.
Blood pressure goes up just a little bit.
Okay, so this is a guy who the two biggest problems with our nation's debt are Medicare and Social Security. Without debate, without discussion, they're littered. Doge has proven it with waste, fraud, and abuse. How many times have they found massive waste, fraud, and abuse inside of Social Security and Medicare? And this is a guy who told me in a room full of people, as he was moving very aggressively towards me at the Stack's Pancake.
He was never going to stop spending.
Never. He was never going to touch those two things. He told me he was never touching. He was never touching Social Security and Medicare. And he has the audacity to stand out and talk here about reforming these systems.
He said the original purpose is being ignored, and it's led to a lot of wasted taxpayer dollars. And he continues to emphasize the need to save every spare penny.
Okay, so I'm going to see. I don't know. Did I tell you? So I'm going to the Clay County Lincoln Day dinner on June the 13th. Spendingberg is the guest speaker.
Oh, he'll be back from D.C.
Now, remember the last time that Spendingberg and I were in a room together. We've gotten years of show content out of that. Now, not only is Spendingberg going to be there, but Tiptoe is going to be there too.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to get the opportunity to see Tiptoe Diego and Spendingberg.
Yeah.
And I've been invited by someone who has purchased these tickets. So we have many fans out there in Clay County. You can hear the radio station out there. I hear it all the time. I can't imagine they would try to ban me. And look, we know Spendingberg's speech is going to be as entertaining as glue. So Rob asking a couple questions to Spendingberg and Tiptoe, that'll be more entertaining than the show people paid to see.
Yeah. Well, you should ask him about the spending.
Maybe he'll have another.
He's championing the Freedom Caucus, but how much you want to bet he says yes?
Now, will
to the big, beautiful bill.
Todd bring an armed Clay County Sheriff's deputy there with him since he knows I'll be there? And the bigger question is, will Igor, his evil, awful assistant, who gave us the business last time we showed up, will he be there as well? What are we doing next? What's going on?
Well, we can talk about Rand Paul or Shaq and his potty mouth.
Let's talk about Rand Paul, shall we? Let's talk about something positive.
He was on Face the Nation, and he's saying no to the big, beautiful bill. I'm sorry, the big bullcrap bill. It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, terrorism in Colorado, but the left doesn't see it that way. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a DSNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A DSNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials, too. With a Humana DSNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct. It's June. The weather is getting hot. We're going to be in the 80s this week, and that means you should be thinking about staying cool in your home all summer long. That's where Universal Windows Direct comes in with their home improvement season sale. Listen to this deal. You can get payments as low as $99 a month or no payments and no interest for an entire year. And listen, on top of that, Universal Windows Direct will come out to your home and do a free in-home window and energy assessment so you can see exactly where your home is losing energy and how much you could be saving. Universal Windows Direct, where right now you can get payments as low as $99 a month or no payments and no interest for an entire year. Now, some restrictions may apply, so to get all the details and schedule that totally free in-home estimate, call Universal Windows Direct today at 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574. Or check them out on the web, universalwindowsdirect.com.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or on third-party delivery platform.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
101 West Ohio, Indianapolis. CordellCordell.com.
Big stories locally, big moves in Washington. WIBC.com keeps you updated throughout the day with all the news that matters, plus traffic, weather, and more on your phone, your laptop, wherever you are. It's news when you need it.
Hey, I know we got to talk about Rand Paul here in a second, but I got a very important question for you.
What's that?
It's the Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. Landon's in for Kev. Should I eat this?
Where'd you find it?
In Terry's office.
I think it's okay.
So Terry Stacy, the first
she always
lady
has
of
treats in there, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's the first lady of WIBC Hall of Fame broadcaster. She went to the Snack and Sweet Expo. And they've got all of these different snacks and sweets, and then every year she brings a bunch in for me to go back there and get in her office. Our office is connected to Terry Stacy's office. And this looks pretty straightforward on the front.
What is it?
Well, it says Borgat gummy.
Okay.
And it says Fruity Wiggles. Okay, so I'm thinking these are like
it's candy
gummies, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
However, then on the back, all the language is gibberish.
Okay.
I'd ask you to look at it. Do you know what? I don't know what that is.
Arabic or Farsi or something?
Yeah, I mean it's a bunch of signs like crescent moons and
it's
letters
not English.
Letters that are not in our.
I think you're okay.
Lexicon. I mean, it is packaged.
Yeah.
Expiration date is, I can make this out. That's in English, 4/26/28.
Yeah. It's still good then. There's no way that somebody is going to book a booth at the Sweet and Snack Expo in the hopes that Terry's going to come by and grab something, put it on her desk, and then a week later you're going to eat it.
But it only takes one. Oh, that's, yeah. No, I mean
that's a pretty...
No, I'm not neurotic about the
plan.
mail. I do not open the mail because of that. But I'm just worried about what if there's some sort of mass, we're always concerned about these foreign countries, coming after us.
Does it say where it was produced? And even if it does,
repacked by.
Oh.
What does that mean?
Okay. It got sent here and then it was repackaged.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word. Oh, no, I'm not going to pronounce that word because I could get in trouble. It's the kingdom. Oh, it's got a P.O. box, everything. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay. Well, they just laid out the red carpet for our president.
Well, that's true. They wouldn't want to be killing us. But repacked. What does that mean? Repacked.
I don't know.
Shouldn't it just be packed?
There could be.
Did they get it from somebody else?
Some dietary stuff that they have to do here in America that they don't have to do in Saudi Arabia.
What do you think that means? Repacked.
Yeah.
Repacked. I mean, I think it's seconds, right?
That's what I'm thinking. This somehow ended up in Saudi Arabia where it was packaged.
Someone didn't want it there, so they said, "I just sent it to
right.
America."
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I'm out.
You're not going to eat it now?
No.
What if it's delicious?
It's the repack.
It's your new favorite thing.
And you try it. You tell me how it goes. You take one, and if you make it to 11 o'clock, I'll eat one. How about that?
Yeah, you're right. It was packaged in Saudi Arabia.
Repacked.
It's
not that it was packaged in Saudi, because Saudi Arabia is invested enough in the West.
Taste the fun. Gummy.
No. Saudi Arabia is invested enough in Western culture that I don't think they would poison us.
All the ingredients are in English.
But I'm concerned about the packing, not the repacking.
I think you're okay. They're Fruity Wiggles.
Then you eat one. Go for it.
I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I love how you always make me be your guinea pig.
If you make it till 11 o'clock, I'll eat one.
Oh, you know what? Let's see. It's a gummy worm.
I'm not disputing what it is. I'm concerned about the phrase repacking.
Looks sketchy.
Who packed it originally? See, thank you.
No, you're fine. It's sugar. What you've got here is sugar.
Okay.
Glucose syrup, sugar, first two ingredients.
Well, if you're still sitting upright and taking oxygen at 11 o'clock, I will eat one.
Landon, take over! Oh, no!
Hi, guys. Welcome to Kendall and Landon.
What I thought. You laugh. It just takes one. And then what would people do without this show? That's the bigger question. If I go down, what would people do without this show? Right? I'm not risking that for our audience.
Are we going to talk about Rand Paul?
Yeah, what's going on?
Do we have time to do that? All right, he was on Face the Nation, and he said he's not going to sign on with the big bullcrap bill.
Well, the math doesn't really add up. One of the things this big and beautiful bill is it's a vehicle for increasing spending for the military and for the border. It's about $320 billion in new spending. To put that in perspective, that's more than all the DOGE cuts that we found so far. So the increase in spending put into this bill exceeds the DOGE cuts. When you look just at the border wall, they have $46.5 billion for the border wall. Well, their current estimate from the CBP is $6.5 million per mile. So if you did 1,000 miles, that's $6.5 billion. But they have $46 billion, so they've inflated the cost of the wall eightfold. So there's a lot of new spending that has to be counteracted. But essentially, this is a bill by the military-industrial complex advocates who are padding the military budget. There's going to be a lot of extra money. Look, the president has essentially stopped the border flow without new money and without any new legislation. So I think they're asking for too much money. And in the end, the way you add it up to see if it actually is going to save money or add money is how much debt are they going to borrow? $5 trillion over 2 years. It's an enormous amount.
So he's getting a lot of heat from his constituents in Kentucky. A lot of people who are saying, we voted for this. We wanted Trump and his plan. Go with that agenda. He went on to say he's not afraid of Trump and that tariffs aren't good for the private sector.
I was trying to think of something creative. This sucks. It just all sucks. How about that? Let's go to break on that. What an uplifting way to end the hour. This sucks.
I'm going to finish my Fruity Wiggle. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-251-1912. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 463-251-1912. That's 463-251-1912.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
No one wants to leave behind stress for their family. That's why a trust or a will is so important. Without one, your assets might go to the wrong people or leave out loved ones. Also, probate is long, expensive, and often avoidable with a revocable trust. Trustandwill.com makes it simple to create a personalized estate plan. A trust or will provides clarity and peace of mind. Get 20% off on your estate plan documents by visiting trustandwill.com/radio.
Hi, Jeff Roush for Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing on most all new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP 105,575, Nautilus MSRP 61,995, Corsair MSRP 47,820. Offers going on now. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
I'm James with Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling. We service all makes and models. For service, contact us at pricepointcomfort.com.
Price Point Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air dealer.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, your top stories after Fox News. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
He overstayed his welcome. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Homeland Security is saying about the suspect in the attack in Boulder, Colorado.
Sources tell our own Bill Maloogian the suspect, Mohammed Sabri Faraj Solomon, is from Egypt and is in the United States illegally, having overstayed his visa. It expired this past March.
Fox's Alicia Cunha in Boulder, where the victims were demonstrating against Hamas, still holding hostages in Gaza. So it's being investigated as terrorism since the attacker chanted Free Palestine while using a flamethrower and incendiary devices.
His weapon was fire. The victims range in age between 52 and 88, all taken to local hospitals.
And this man watched it happen.
The most difficult one to see was the lady laying on the ground who was burning from head to toe.
Solomon is so far facing weapons and assault and murder charges, though we've not been told anyone died. There are new Russia-Ukraine ceasefire talks going on today in Turkey after Ukraine's biggest drone attack of the war, striking deep into Russian territory to destroy warplanes and missile launchers. 2 escaped prisoners remain on the run. The last 2 still free after 10 broke out of a New Orleans jail 2 weeks ago. One's a convicted killer, and so is Grant Hardin. It's day 9 of the manhunt for him in Arkansas.
He was last seen right here leaving the prison on a fake law enforcement uniform last Sunday. Hardin has extensive law enforcement experience. He was an officer, county constable, a corrections officer, and used to be the police chief in the small town of Gateway. He went from top cop, though, to convicted killer. In 2017, he pleaded guilty to murdering a city employee in his pickup truck. Hardin's DNA was entered into a system, and there was a match to an unsolved crime. In 1997, a teacher at an elementary school was raped.
Fox's Brooke Taylor in Gateway. The Supreme Court has refused to consider a challenge to a restriction on ammunition in Rhode Island, and the justices also have refused to take up a challenge to Maryland's ban on so-called assault-style weapons. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A death investigation at an Indianapolis hotel. You have a clear radar at 62 degrees on Monument Circle. We're going up to 83 today. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02. A 24-year-old woman from North Carolina was found dead early Sunday at a hotel pool on the west side of Indy. The cops were called to the Courtyard Marriott along Fortune Circle West for a death investigation. And when they arrived, they found the woman named Sharon Marie Thomas in a pool. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The Marion County Coroner's Office identified her on Monday. The job's not finished. That's what the Indiana Pacers are saying after knocking off the New York Knicks Saturday night and earning a spot in the NBA Finals. Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton sharing his thoughts after the win.
And man, we just worked our tails off as a group. We've been through so many things this year. And we just kept pushing, and I'm just really proud of this group.
Game 1 between the Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder is Thursday in OKC, tip time 8:30. Can Indiana provide accessibility to all kids who have dreams of being the next basketball superstar? Here's Johnette Cruz.
Indiana's caught up in Pacers mania, igniting aspirations on the court, but behind the cheers, families are navigating the cost. State-of-the-art facilities like Lebanon's 200,000 square foot Farmers Bank Fieldhouse are booming, promising community hubs and economic boosts. Soaring youth sports costs, now averaging over $1,000 per child annually, is raising concerns that impressive new arenas may become more exclusive rather than broadly accessible. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A man was shot last night after exchanging gunfire with Auburn police. Cops say they were called to a report of a man holding a pistol along West 11th Street about 6:30. The man apparently pointed a pistol at the police. They shot back. The man is okay. No officers were hurt. Auburn police say they've handed over the investigation to the Indiana State Police. Police say a car and a tow truck collided early Sunday, leaving 3 people in bad shape. Here's Jake McDaniel.
The crash happened on Indy's northwest side when one of the vehicles crossed the center line, which made both vehicles go off the road. The tow truck then hit a tree. Indy Metro police officers arrived at the scene shortly after 3 o'clock. All 3 people were taken to a hospital, and officers are looking into this. Jake McDaniel, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
DEI is no longer an option at Purdue University. Here's Jarrett Lewis.
In an announcement Friday, the university says it is putting a stop to any DEI-related activities or initiatives effective immediately. The move involves the closing of the school's Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging. University officials say they are cooperating with policy set at the federal and state level that ends DEI practices at higher education institutions. Staff members who worked in DEI at Purdue will have the opportunity to find work in other campus departments. Jarrett Lewis, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the go and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey are back in 1 minute. It's 10:05.
Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. Who are they? Well, they're a sister company of Rhino Shield, and Premier Deck Coating is the product you need if you're tired of applying the same old stain and paint every couple of years to your deck. It's Terry, Stacy, and David and I have a deck that's probably 25 years old. The countless hours and the money that we spend on maintaining that deck never ends. And then we heard about Premier Deck Coating. Family owned, based right here in Indy, and they are going to completely transform our deck with their special formulated product, which repels moisture, scratch resistant in virtually any color that we want, and backed by a 10-year guarantee. No more spending time staining or painting every year. Premier Deck Coating will keep our deck looking great for years to come. Premier Deck Coating can also do fences and pergolas too. For a free quote, call 317-696-4071 or visit premierdeckcoating.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Well, that's wild to know.
What's that?
Apparently, well, Tiptoe Diego is Indiana politics version of Taylor Swift.
He's getting paid big money to go speak.
Apparently, yes, these governments are putting big money to fly him all over the world, bring him to their location because, well, who wouldn't be clamoring, Casey, to see Diego Morales? I mean, I'm sure right now, if Diego Morales were to announce that he was giving a speech, you'd sell out Lucas Oil Stadium 3 nights in a row. We ought to just put him on the JW Marriott down the street from us.
Oh, a big banner of him. Would he be on his tiptoes?
This is what we're being led to believe based on this just ridiculous social media post, that this a-hole who has complete and utter disdain for you, the taxpayer, you who pays for him to exist in that office, you who pays his salary, you who pays most of what's going on in his life, he has just complete and utter disregard for you. And he is outraged that people would want to have any transparency whatsoever coming from him in his office.
Yeah, so the Indiana Democrats, they put out a press release, and they were talking about Secretary of State Diego Morales and how he was jet-setting once again, and he decided to, I guess, air check it, mark it up, explain.
Well, it's a lack of respect for the people of this state, the manner in which he's behaving, and we're seeing this play out more and more inside of that state house, especially from these statewide office holders who don't believe they owe any professionalism to you, the taxpayer. They don't owe any accountability to you, the people who they take your hard-earned money to run their offices. I mean, like, it's just, who's the 2 statewide you never hear from? Daniel Elliott and Elise Nishala.
Oh, right.
Why? Because they just go do their jobs.
Yeah.
The state comptroller and the state treasurer. They're just professional people who go do their jobs in a business-like manner which is what we should expect as a taxpayer, and you don't hear a word from them.
Right.
Who are the drama queens? It's Micah, it's Rokita, it's Diego. These people who are consistently acting like the local town goof. And then when they get held to account for it, they act like petulant children that you, the taxpayer who pay their salary, go, hey, I'd like to know more about that. Or, hey, man, I don't think you're handling that the best. Or, hey, that's probably not the best use of my money. You somehow, in the process, become the bad guy for daring to have a say in how your money's being spent.
So in this press release that the Democrats put out, they said Morales and his office have refused to say who paid for his trip, leaving Hoosier taxpayers to wonder if they're on the hook.
Now, wait, we got to clarify because there's so many trips now.
Right. This one is to Hungary.
This is the trip to Hungary that they wouldn't say who paid for.
Yeah.
Of course, they still have not said
who paid for the India trip.
Who paid for the
we
trip
still don't know about that.
to India.
Yeah.
And now they got really, remember, no, you don't remember. You weren't here. You were not paying attention to anything. Our audience will remember. They got super cutesy about this where he starts posting on social media during this show, by the way, moments after we talked about him. I'm here on private time.
Personal time.
Personal time. Yes, thank you. Like as... hey, 1 minute I'm the secretary. He's like Clark Kent, right? He's like Superman. 1 minute I'm the Secretary of State. 20 minutes later, personal time. Oh, now I'm back to being the Secretary of State again. So the Democrats, rightfully so, with all the bull crap this guy's pulled, said, hey, we'd like some freaking answers on who thinks you're so great and magnanimous that they're willing to front all this money for you to go to these foreign countries. And instead of just answering the question, which is, I understand why this is of a like, how would you handle this if you actually had respect for the people? You would say, look, I understand that there is some concern about what I'm doing, about my foreign traveling. Here's why I'm going. Here's what I'm doing. Here's who has paid for this trip. Here's what was included as part of that payment. I'm happy to show you the receipts. Thank you. Have a nice day. Like, that's how you would handle if you were actually a professional person who actually cared about taxpayers, who are the boss, by the way. We are the boss. If Diego worked for a corporation and his boss came to him and said, hey, man, you got some sketchy travel on here. And
I need your receipts.
we don't exactly know what you were doing over here. We'd like to know, and we'd like to know who put you there. Would he flip both of his middle fingers at you? No, you'd provide the information if there's nothing to hide.
You wouldn't look at your boss and go, sorry, fail. But that's what he did.
Yeah, and so they, whatever, I'm sure he had someone do this for him because he has the IQ of a gnat, had somebody in a totally sarcastic, asinine manner mark up this press release from the Democrats with these, as though he's hyper offended that he has to answer any questions. And we're not going to go through all of it, but he did say that...
who paid for the trip?
My office didn't... By the way, he tried to say in this markup that his office didn't have the information.
Right.
I almost said it. Bull crap. I'm going on this foreign trip, and he didn't tell anyone.
Right.
Who put you there?
My office didn't have this information.
But
parentheses, personal trip. Rob, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I was gone for a few days last week. Where did I go?
You went to see your family in Washington, D.C. I think you also went and saw your daughter in Baltimore for a while.
Exactly.
Yes. Exactly.
I mean, we didn't have like this major long conversation about it, but you knew that much, right?
Right, and you paid for it yourself.
Yes, I did. CPAC did not pay for it.
So he claims CPAC, now I think he means the CPAC Hungary, through their Center for Fundamental Rights, paid for this trip. Okay. Giant red flag. Because when you think of fundamental human rights, what do you think of? Does it go Bono and Diego in that order? Right. When we're talking about great civil Nelson Mandela, and then Diego,
and then Diego Morales.
The question is, why would anyone? You're a state secretary of state.
Wait a minute. Secretary of State of Foreign Affairs?
Oh, no. That's right. Yeah, that's what the
that's a new title he received or something?
The Hungarian state-run media apparatus declared him the Secretary of State of Foreign Affairs.
Oh, okay.
I believe that was what they called him, which, of course, does not exist. And so then the question was, is that what you presented yourself as?
Right.
Was there some sort of major typo here? And by the way, you're cutting, according to this article, deals and making promises related to agriculture, which you have no authority over whatsoever. Of course, the goof who is in charge of agriculture, Micah Beckwith, doesn't want to be in charge of anything. He wants to go fight with lunatics in Boone County because he wants to be Charlie Kirk and has no interest in actually governing for you. So it's just the same with all these people. They're not interested. They're not interested in you, the taxpayer. They're interested in themselves and how many times they can get themselves and their ugly mugs in front of as many cameras as possible to benefit the next thing. Rokita, Micah, Diego, it's all the same.
So despite calling it personal time, he met with Hungarian officials. He discussed the agricultural partnerships between Hungary and Indiana.
Not his job.
He met with the mayor of one of the cities, and he spoke at the CPAC in Hungary.
So so the question is,
personal time, working time?
Why would foreign entities pay for a state elected official who has no ability? He can't spend money other than what's allocated by the legislature. He has no ability to do economic development deals. He had none of that. Why would somebody pay? I mean, it's got to be to fly over there, to stay there, the meals. I think a reasonable person would assume tens of thousands of dollars in expenses. Why would you pay that for someone to give a 6-minute speech?
So his office stated that on his personal leave, he was on personal leave, but confirmed that he still acts in his official capacity during travel if he receives invitations. Now, if you go to the
wait, say that again. You get it. That's not even English.
Okay, his office stated he was on personal leave, but confirmed that he still acts in his official capacity during travel if he receives invitations. So he's on personal time, but while I'm here, if I get an invite to go to the party, maybe I'll show up. But if you go back to the markup, the thing that he took the red pen to, he said that this was a months-long planned trip.
That's right. So think about the past.
So he knew he was getting invited.
Two of the past 3 months, is that right? He has spent a substantial amount of time in a foreign country doing who knows what, because all we know about is what we see publicly or someone tweets out with foreign governments. And now we have twice seen both the governor and lieutenant governor, this guy make a mockery of both the governor and the lieutenant governor, and no one will say a word.
Right.
No one will do anything about it.
So you got to wonder, what is he doing? Is he making a play for his next job?
I think everything about Diego is a grift. And I think everything about Diego is largely shady. And I think it's a guy. Look, I think this, like with Micah too, where these are, how in the lottery when you'll see the people, like some guy from some little podunk town wins the lottery and he's in a trailer and he's wearing a Who Farted shirt and an I'm with stupid ball cap. And you're listening to this guy and you go, oh my gosh, this guy is like just, it's hit life's lottery. This person has no idea what to do with this. They have no idea like how to handle it. They have no. That's who Micah and Diego are, and the people around them are the same way. They're like, how could it be this bad? How could you be this unprofessional? How could someone, you're the lieutenant governor, or in the case of Braun, the governor, someone totally big times you in a foreign country, whether it's economic deals or agriculture, and it's just Chuckles McGee. And in the case of Micah, now I'm at the Pizza King making a pizza. That was his response to this clown embarrassing and demeaning, not just embarrassing, but demeaning all the work, the actual people who work, because Micah doesn't do any actual work, the people in his office who actually do stuff, who actually give a damn about good public policy, who've been there for years. He didn't even go to bat for them or anything. His response is go make pizza.
I just got to wonder, like, what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to move on to secure his next position while he's on his personal time. He was on the big stage. He did that speech there in Hungary. You know what? We pulled the clip. Let's pass, shall we? Unless you really want to hear it.
Oh, no.
I didn't think so.
Casey, if I told you, and I got to get to break, if I told you I will pay you $10,000, would you go to Hungary? Would you go?
If you're going to pay me?
You would subject yourself to going to Hungary?
What do I have to do while I'm there?
We got to go.
Stand up on a speech?
A week of your life? Got to deal with those people?
Somebody else is paying for it.
$10,000? That's it? That's all your time's worth?
But now you've got Jamie Rittenauer announcing that she maybe is running for Secretary of State.
The best thing for this state. I was thinking about this weekend. Everybody knows Evan Bayh's son, Bo Bayh, is probably going to run for Secretary of State next year. And the best thing for this state would be if the delegates are stupid enough to nominate this huckster again, and Bo Bayh comes in and beats the brakes off Diego Morales, because the Republican corruption and the incompetence and the just this insanity has got to stop. And the only way it's going to stop is for them to start losing elections. And I think the only way they could actually lose this election is if Diego is the nominee. So look, I'm all on board. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm sure I won't get it because I never get what I want. But I just, what a joke.
Well, how many is that now? You've got Dave Shelton, Jamie Rittenauer, Diego.
Yeah, that's
so
three.
That's three.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody else will throw their hat in that ring soon enough, too.
Yeah, well, okay, what are we doing next? What's going on?
We've got to talk about Ethan's drawing that he did. And there's a lot of discussion about flags right now, so I want to tell you about my experience on raising the flag.
Okay, very good.
It's Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
When you wake up,
you understand this is about money. 1,000%. They started this.
When you work,
as long as the category was all Bruce Springsteen all the time.
I told you I think I could win a game of Jeopardy. I could not go on a run.
When you drive home,
is it time to try something new, you think? Because it hasn't worked, and maybe try something new.
Traffic when you need it.
Stopped on 465 again.
And updates all the time.
I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go.
Stay in the know wherever you go with 93 WIBC.
Are you planning for your retirement? Ensure you're on the right track with a crucial step, tax planning. At Absolute Wealth Management, LLC, every retirement plan we design includes comprehensive tax planning. Imagine maximizing your savings while minimizing tax burdens. Tax planning isn't just about the present. It's a cornerstone for retirement planning. The less you have to give to Uncle Sam, the more cash flow you have in retirement. So take control of your financial situation. Proper tax planning can help optimize your retirement income, leaving you with more time to enjoy the life you've worked hard for. Let us help you create a tax-efficient retirement plan. Your future self will thank you. Call Absolute Wealth Management, LLC, 317-288-0634. That's 317-288-0634. Or visit AbsoluteWealthManagementLLC.com. William Gonzalez offers investment advisory service through Gradient Advisors, LLC, 877-885-0508, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Absolute Wealth Management is not a registered investment advisor nor an affiliate of Gradient Advisors. Gradient Advisors, LLC, and its advisors do not render tax, legal, or accounting advice. Insurance offered through William Gonzalez, independent agent.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Trust employee owned. B-Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to be.
I noticed that Ethan finished his drawing on the whiteboard. He does such a nice job for us. He's like WIBC's editorial cartoonist.
Yeah, it's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey. So Ethan Hatcher does the Saturday night on the Circle show, and he is actually a very talented artist. And every so often, once a month or months plural, he will draw a little cartoon of sorts. And this one, I've got it up at Rob M. Kendall on Twitter. I think I retweeted it yesterday if you'd like to scroll down and see it. Remember I don't even know what the company was, but it was this old guy, and he had like a dollar bill on a fishing pole, and the people are going for the money, and he pulls it back from him and goes, oh, almost had it. I don't remember who the actual commercial was, but Ethan has drawn that, except it was Braun, and it's Braun is the Fisher guy, and the dollar is the property tax reform promises, and it's a very good drawing there, which he's absolutely right. Like how many people feel that they got totally screwed in this
The old bait
process.
and switch.
You know what's interesting? We were talking about this. The Braun people are so... State Farm Insurance. Thank you, Ethan. Yes, very good. The Braun people are so poor at messaging, and Holcomb's people were bad too. But what's fascinating is they didn't even know how to message great things that exist in that bill. It's such a massive bill, or things that are associated with it. It takes forever to get through all this stuff, and nobody's reading anything at the end of session. They're just approving or dumping things based on whatever Houston and Bray tell them to do. But what was fascinating was Nikki Kelly touched on this last week, and it was very quick, and we didn't have time to go into it. But at the end of session, the Braun people had a proposal, which was actually a phenomenal proposal that I never heard from anyone.
Right. That was in the bill.
Nobody follows us this any closer than us. And it would have, and it related to farming. Who's in charge of farming, by the way, Casey?
Lieutenant Governor.
Micah.
Yeah.
The property tax guy. How many times did we interview Micah during the session?
Well, at least every week.
Yes. And we never heard a one about this from him either. And this was a phenomenal idea, which was it would have said, we recognize that farmers, while we respect the farmers' rights to sell their land to who they want to, we do recognize that the sales to these mega developers, either through these high-density housing developments or these data centers who can pay the premium for this land, is out of control and not good for our state and the central Indiana landscape. And we recognize the value in us feeding a nation and still being the center of that. And they had a proposal that would have allowed farmers who sell land to other farmers for the express purpose of being farmed.
Continuing on.
Right. To have tax credits to offset some of what they might have lost, to continue to promote the idea of family or generational farming continuing and stopping some of this massive out of control growth. A great idea that I think everybody would have been on board on
to
with
keep the Indiana landscape.
And they took it out at the end of session and nobody said a word.
Right.
Braun didn't say a word. The agriculture guy who's supposed to be all about property taxes didn't say a word.
Did he even know it was in there?
That's the question. Even when they have good stuff, they don't message.
Well, they had good stuff, but they took it out. So
yeah, and you'd think they would have been screaming about that on this radio show where nobody's more sympathetic to property tax reform than us, and not a word. Which means they either didn't know or didn't care or can't speak or I don't know. But these are the people running our. They're running our state, and that cartoon is just perfect that Ethan did, because that's exactly right. Braun didn't care. He doesn't know what's in the bill. He doesn't know what he signed off on. There is no other plan. They're not coming back for anything else. Think about it. So that's been almost 2 months since they voted to screw us on property taxes. Org Day is in November. So July, August, September, October, November, 5 months. There's supposed to be some big plan for next year. He's not out selling it. He's not talking to local governments. He's not... None of this. It doesn't exist.
Are they whiteboarding it? They brainstorming ideas at this point?
Maybe that's what Micah was doing at the Pizza King. He was having a big lunch to discuss come up with the ideas.
The plan?
Of course, he didn't even sell the great
reform.
He didn't sell the idea.
Cut cap reform.
The great idea in the original thing, which everybody would have been behind. No, how do you not say a word about that? That's such a great idea, and it would have been so good for so many people, and we would have totally been on board with that. Nope, Not a word.
I'm
Nothing.
sure he probably didn't even know. Ethan Hatcher said that he would do an unflattering editorial cartoon of Governor Braun after he stabbed the electorate in the back on property tax reform. You can see it on Ethan's Twitter account or at Rob M. Kendall.
You know who is always flattering is Ryan Hedrick, newsman extraordinaire.
He's up with the news next on 93 WIBC.
Tired of using your Indy summer to paint year after year? Then do what Deanna did. She called Rhino Shield.
I was noticing some cracks and the paint's faded. I was like, okay, I think I should get my house painted. So my neighbor had a Rhino Shield placard in the yard. And after they were finished, I was just, wow. With the warranty and everything, it just seemed silly not to go that route.
The ceramic coating of Rhino Shield is specifically formulated for our climate.
So the Rhino Shield crew came out. Nothing was damaged in the process. I was very happy. They just didn't leave a mess. You couldn't even tell they were there. And the house looked so different. It just looked like a new home.
Backed by a 25-year transferable warranty. And right now, you can have that protection for 10% off the regular price.
Rhino Shield, I think it increases the value and the curb appeal of your home. Definitely worth it.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Talking about cuts to Trump's one big, beautiful bill. You have a clear radar. 65 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. We're moving up to 83 today. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 10:30. Congressional Republicans are working to codify into law some of the cuts made by the Department of Government Efficiency.
The House will receive its first rescissions package from the Trump administration when lawmakers return Tuesday. A rescissions package is a series of spending cuts the White House can request from Congress that can pass with a simple majority in both chambers. The first round is about $9 billion in cuts to USAID, NPR, and PBS.
That's Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
Congressman Mark Alford expects it to pass, but says some might be on the fence.
I think everyone is looking forward to making more cuts on the Republican side. There are maybe a few people in more moderate districts who still see a need for PBS and NPR.
Critics argue USAID provides life-saving services overseas, and NPR and PBS are vital tools in informing the public.
Congress expects to take about 6 weeks for the cuts to become law. A private funeral for late Colts owner Jim Irsay is happening in about 90 minutes in Indianapolis. The team is expected to share how they're going to honor Mr. Irsay publicly soon. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
There's something timeless about radio. It's where stories are told, ideas are shared, and communities stay connected. Our generation grew up with it, and we still believe in the power of tuning in. At Howard Bailey Financial, we believe planning for retirement should feel just as familiar and trusted. That's why we're bringing real conversations and practical advice to the airwaves. Join us every Sunday at 9 p.m. for our Retire with Purpose Radio Hour, right here on 93.1 WIBC. We'll talk about what really matters in retirement, income you can count on, choices you can feel good about, and a future that reflects your values. Because some things, like good planning and good radio, never go out of style. Howard Bailey Financial, retirement planning that speaks your language. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com. The Retire with Purpose Radio Hour is a paid placement on each airing station.
At Hendricks, our cancer care
is in the details.
When you are with us, and you have our time and you have our energy.
We have a wonderful team of highly trained oncologists, physical therapists, speech pathologists, dietitians.
Always making sure that the patient is the center of the care.
We have excellent nurse navigation that are skilled at identifying barriers to treatment,
as well as expertise from Mayo Clinic.
It is more personal care than just a number.
Visit hendricks.org/cancer.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
I'm a proud owner of B-Window.
I'm a proud B-Window owner.
I'm a proud B-Window owner.
When you work with a local, employee-owned home improvement company like B-Window, quality comes first because your home improvements are a reflection of our business. And for a limited time, we're extending our employee discount to you, up to 55% off all products and services, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust local, trust employee-owned, trust your home to be.
Trust me. The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text Tony Katz to 46220 or visit indianaunclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
We have got to talk about what's going on with the public access counselor in the state of Indiana, because this is very concerning for transparency of governments across our state. It's Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. Now, in a coincidence, the public access counselor is named Jenny Ruby.
Yes, she is. Jennifer Ruby.
But this is not the Jenny Ruby.
It's different.
Those of
totally
you
different woman
who are regular listeners to the show, you will know that Casey grew up in a love affair with famed Ohio State quarterback Kirk Herbstreit. Her rival, like out of some John Hughes movie, was a woman by the name of Jenny Ruby, who promised Kirk something you didn't, and she ended up with his hand. Although I don't think they ended up married, did they? I don't think they ended up
no
not together forever.
They broke up when he went off to Ohio State. I did see him at the reunion, and I said, "Where's Jenny Ruby?" And he was like, "Yeah, where is she?"
Did you? Was it you? You told me that he had peeps at the reunion.
He did.
Like you couldn't go just sit next to him?
No, you could. You could go up and talk to him, but he did have security with him.
That's amazing to me that he would think he's important enough. What someone would go, I can't wait for the reunion so I can harm Kirk Herbstreit.
Not harm him, but people were going up and asking for his autograph. I mean,
what?
Yeah, I mean,
people he went to high school with.
Yes,
no way.
Yes, they wanted pictures with him, and
well, that's one thing. An autograph.
The people were his drivers. Because you don't want to have a cocktail and then get pulled over when you're, in the public eye.
Be like Lou, like stay in the car. I'll see you when I'm done. I mean, it's a high school. Grown ass people who went to high school with him were asking for his autograph.
Yeah, they were asking for pictures.
That's amazing.
He had a swarm of people.
All right.
He did.
All right. So we got to talk about the public access counselor. Now, the public access counselor's job is to essentially be like the referee between the citizens of the state and governments. If you believe a government is operating in an improper manner related to transparency, it could be not releasing documents, it could be a manner in which an elected official has behaved, it could be a meeting that took place that you don't think was noticed properly or held properly. There's just a wide swath of issues.
Could it be when the Secretary of State blows off his budget meeting?
No, because unfortunately you don't have any control over a statewide elected official.
Okay.
Yeah, but you I mean, you could ask. They would tell you that he can do whatever he wants to do. But it's basically within the letter of the law about how information is supposed to be and votes are taken. The public access counselor's job is to sort of be the referee. And the state got mad at the legislature got mad at the public access counselor because he didn't rule on a couple of issues as they wanted. Now, keep in mind, this is like a judge, right? This guy's supposed to call balls and strikes, no favoritism. Luke Britt was the former public access counselor. He did a fine job. I asked for his help or interpretation on multiple things. Some he said I was okay on. Others he said, I don't agree with you. That's the job, right? It's just like a judge. It's like an umpire. You're going to like some of the rulings. You're not going to like others. Should have total independence of everyone because they're supposed to be the ultimate above reproach person. Because he ruled in a manner that one or multiple of these legislators didn't like, they essentially gutted what little authority the public access counselor had. Now, he's not a judge in the sense he couldn't sentence anybody to prison. He can't convict you of a felony. He could simply say, in terms of the letter of the law, here's what I believe has happened, and then whoever can do whatever they're going to do with that. He had no actual enforcement mechanism. But what little authority he did have, they took away from him. So Britt, who'd been there forever and was by all accounts a pretty good guy.
He was there for 12 years.
Yeah, said multiple governors. It seemed like people of both parties liked him. Again, a guy that just kind of quietly went about his business. What a novel concept in a professional manner. Didn't seek the limelight, didn't travel to foreign countries giving speeches. He said, well, then I'm out of here because I'm not just going to be a puppet for you guys. And so the governor had to appoint a new person to be the public access counselor. He appointed this Jenny Ruby, and Capitol Chronicle has a big expose about how citizens are saying we're not getting responses to our inquiries about local governments and if they're behaving in a proper manner. Capitol Chronicle said they went over to the office. I guess there was no one there. Voicemail messages are being left, not returned. And this is a big deal because essentially it's the Wild West out there right now. The two groups that kind of hold local governments accountable are the public access counselor and the state board of accounts. And then on top of that, to some extent, the inspector general, but not really. There's just nobody holding these people accountable. They'll do whatever they're gonna do because who's gonna catch them and who's gonna stop them?
So Jenny Ruby's not picking up the phone. Phone calls to the office are going straight to voicemail or they're not returned. Emails are not being answered or they just go unacknowledged. And the governor's office says that Jennifer Ruby has cleared the 2024 backlog and is now focusing on 2025 cases. Britt, the former access counselor, he left 11 pending complaints open. She allegedly has gone through all of those and is now going through this backlog of 40 cases.
She's got one employee. Now, I find this fascinating. All the things we waste money on in this state, and the person who's supposed to be the watchdog for over the entire state of Indiana, local government, right? So when you make a complaint, you have to, there's a form you fill out, and you try to be as detailed as you can. If they got questions, they'll follow up. But they've got to read your complaint. They've got to research state code. They've got to reach out to the people you're complaining against. They got to get their side of the story. This is a long, involved process to issue a fair ruling. And of all the things we waste money on, the public access counselor has one employee. That does not seem like a good way to keep an eye on the scoundrels across the state that are trying to hoodwink the taxpayers.
You know what else is interesting about this? Back in 23, they did House Enrolled Act 1338, and that says that the governor can remove that office at any time he wants. Not for cause, just because he wants to.
It's one of the things they did in their little temper tantrum they threw the legislature when they didn't get their way was the public access counselor used to be a term. So you would serve it once you were appointed, and it would cross governors. And the reason they did that was to keep it independent. They would say, I think it was a 4-year term. It was in the middle of what would be a governor's term. So you would go on to the next governor, whether it's Democrat, Republican, whatever. So if it was a Democrat, they'd have to work with a Republican, Democrat, and then they could point whoever they wanted. But it was to try to keep as much independence for that office as possible, which is a very good idea. And they got mad and they said, well, as leverage against you, if you don't do exactly what we want or what the governor wants in these rulings on these cases at all, then you can have this leveraged against you that you can be removed from office if you don't do exactly as we say, which kind of removes the independence premise from the position, Casey.
Right, kind of the point, right? Okay, so we've got Hammer who's going to join us coming up. I'm sure he has plenty to say about the Pacers over the weekend. But while I was gone, Rob, I did something that was kind of fun. You know, I was looking at this post that the Secretary of State, Diego Morales, did. It's a picture of him and his wife. By the way, he's not on his tippy toes in this picture.
With his wife, he's on his actual feet.
He says, continuing to enjoy some personal time with my wife, exploring the beauty and history of Europe together.
You know what's hilarious about that, Casey?
Why don't you explore the beauty and history of this country?
Well, what's hilarious about that is technically, like the fact that he feels the need to say this shows, one, how insecure he is, two, that they know people are on to him, but three, you're only, I think, legally required as a statewide office holder to work 1 day a year. You don't have to tell us there is I think you got to show up 1 day out of the year is the legal. Now maybe they've changed that, but when I was in the state auditor's office, that was the legal requirement to hold that position in good standing was 1 day a year.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
So you don't have to tell us it's personal time. Look, we all know you're a grifter. We all know what you are, Diego. You're not going to fool us by saying it's personal time, and you don't have to do it anyway. As long as you just showed up to work one day, which it sounds like he has, you're in the clear.
Now, I know that his wife is from Hungary. Do you think that CPAC would be paying for him to go speak at a different country if she were from somewhere else?
Well, this is the question that everybody should care about is, look, lots of people have wives or stuff from those countries. What does Diego have to offer that country? He is not able to do agriculture deals, even though Micah Beckwith is not doing anything about him saying that he's going to cut these deals. Same thing with India. He's not able to cut any economic development deals. Why would you have this guy? If you're the country of Hungary and you're interested in agriculture trade with Indiana, why are you not calling the lieutenant governor who oversees ag or the governor who oversees economic development deals? Why would you call a guy who has nothing to offer you on either of those fronts? It makes zero sense.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
What do you mean?
You said there's something you did.
Oh, yeah. When I was on my personal time,
yes.
I was in Baltimore for a day or two, and we went to Fort McHenry, which is pivotal in the War of 1812, and that's where Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner. I found out that he was actually in the Chesapeake Bay on a diplomatic ship. He was trying to do a prisoner exchange, a swap. And while he was on this diplomatic ship on his way to do a prisoner swap, that's when the British said, no, change of plans. And they turned the guns on Fort McHenry instead. So he was actually watching the battle from the water, and it was early in the morning when they were waiting to see what flag would be raised over Fort McHenry, and he saw the broad stripes and bright stars and knew it was the American flag in dawn's early light.
There you go.
That's when he saw it. And so while I was there, I was able to raise a flag over Fort McHenry, and I got to bring it home with me.
How exciting.
I know.
Collector's item.
It is. It is. You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show back at it this afternoon. The biggest stories in Indy, and it's Monday Gun Day with Guy Relford. We'll talk to you guys at 3.
Don Fisher here for QC Kinetics. I want to share with you the best thing I've done for my knee pain. I've been hearing commercials about the groundbreaking treatments that QC Kinetics offers for months. Meantime, my chronic knee pain had hit an all-time high threshold. I wanted to stay active and enjoy playing golf again without the pain. So I decided to call and book an appointment. And what I found out was that QC Kinetics is the non-surgical solution. I have no knee pain and feel like I did 10 years ago. And it's all because of the non-invasive therapy from QC Kinetics.
Discover the solution to joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. For a free consultation, call 463-282-6886.
I'm back to playing golf and enjoying life. Take it from me, this is the best call you can make to relieve your orthopedic pain.
For your free consultation, call QC Kinetics today. 463-282-6886. 463-282-6886.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,000 off select compact tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Indianapolis to see the full line of Kubota or visit McAllisterKubota.com.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Emily Kirby is the office manager, and she says making the customer happy is their number one priority and always has been.
That's the goal at Kirby Heating, is we don't want to just come and service your furnace or air conditioner one time. We want to take care of you, and we want to keep you as a customer for a long time.
Give Kirby a try at KirbyHeating.com. Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
101 West Ohio, Indianapolis. CordellCordell.com.
More tariffs later, tornadoes possible.
WIBC.com gives you more than just headlines. It's context, updates, and insight. Whether you're at work, on the move, or catching up late, the latest is already there. Stay in the know while you're on the go at WIBC.com.
Hey, did you find the well-fed fella in the vest yet?
No, not yet. We are looking for...
Like
he's
Unsolved
known as
Mysteries.
Dale from Avon in a picture that's going viral.
Yeah.
This was from the deciding Pacers game where you see a dejected Timothy Chalamet in his orange Knicks jumpsuit schlepped over in his chair because the Pacers were putting it on him.
Yeah.
And then, not giving a damn who was sitting next to him, there's this dude in a vest.
Yeah.
And he's awesome. He's up and he's clapping and he's cheering for the Pacers. We're trying to get that dude on the show.
But we don't know his name. We don't know if that was I think that's a made-up description of the guy.
Is he really Dale from Avon?
I don't think he's actually Dale from Avon, but it's a famous photo that's going around. And so I thought, well, by the way, that's Jason Hammer of the Hammer and Nigel show. But I thought I'd lend a hand here because I would love to hear from this guy if you could get him on your show.
Did he talk to Timothy Chalamet? What did they say?
Like, and if he did, I hope he gave him the business.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know any of these people there, but he seems like the kind of guy that would not be impressed that Timothy Chalamet and Spawn of the Kardashians were sitting next to him.
South Park that did the show about the episode about celebrities being better than us, or was it The Simpsons? Somebody did an episode about that. And I got to give credit to those guys. They weren't in a suite. They were down on the front row.
Right. And listen, Chalamet, Nigel's boyfriend, showed up to the games, right? He was fearless. He showed up, got courtside tickets. But you know what? The dude next to him in the vest cheering for the Pacers wasn't starstruck.
No.
It wasn't like he was like, oh, let me buy you a drink and let me talk to you and take selfies.
Do you think he even knew
got a Kardashian there?
Did he even know who they were?
I don't know. But I love the fact that, there's this crowd shot and the dejected Knicks fan is slipped over and my man's up and he's pumping and he's rooting on the Pacers and I love it. I'd love to get him on.
You know, we were talking about this to start the show. It's weird because the Pacers came into the league in 76. So it's 24 years from 76 to 2000. Remember in 2000, they said, finally, we did it. It's been forever. I can't believe we made it to the finals, blah, blah, blah. It's now been longer from the finals of 2000 to now, but time, as you get older, it becomes, I don't know, more condensed, I guess. That seems like yesterday those guys went to the NBA finals to me.
Because we always remember the quote-unquote good old days, right? If you're a Colts fan, it seems like only yesterday Peyton Manning was throwing to Dallas Clark and Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. If you're a Pacers fan, you still remember the Davises and Rick Smiths and Reggie Miller. So it's a new era, man, and I'm excited for it. The national media thinks the Pacers are going to get rolled up. I mean, Oklahoma City is a heavy, heavy favorite.
Minus 750, so that means you'd have to bet $750 to win $100 if you bet on Oklahoma City.
Right. That's the equivalent of, Alabama playing against Ball State in a football game, probably. That's the way the odds are setting this up. But listen, I've watched a lot of NBA over the years. The league is making this OKC team out to be like the 98 Bulls or that great Warriors team. Shea's good. But let's not get carried away here.
I mean, they almost got beat by the Nuggets, didn't they?
One-man Nuggets team.
Yeah.
Joker and a bunch of dudes that probably should be working at the snack bar. So, yeah. And listen, he's going to be the MVP, SGA, the kid from Kentucky. But the Pacers have gone through some pretty tough dudes in this playoff run. Is SGA that much better than Giannis? Is he that much better than what Donovan Mitchell was doing in the playoffs? And you had the Towns and Brunson combo for the Knicks. It's not like the Pacers just sleptwalk through the playoffs here. They took on some dudes.
And I hate this. I really need the Pacers to win because I've got the 125-1 bet out there for the Pacers. And I really need the Pacers to steal one of these games early because I can't even hedge bet on minus 750.
You're in it. You're in this thing now.
Yeah, I can't hedge, so either way I win. That's too much to make. But if they win one early, I might be able to get those odds down to where I can hedge and make money regardless.
So in game 1, Oklahoma City, depending on which sports book you're looking at, is a 9 to a 9.5 point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big number. 9 to 9.5. Here's the bet I'm going to give you right now. Now, normally we save these for our podcast, which comes out on Thursday. But the game is Thursday, and I want you to get this early because it's a series bet. If you think there will be over 5.5 games in the series, if you think the Pacers can force at least 6 games in the series, you get plus money.
So you got to win 2.
Right. So let's say OKC wins this 4-2. Let's say the Pacers win this 4-2. 6 or 7 games, your toes are tapping. Over 5.5, you get 11-1. So that's plus money. Let's go.
And OKC normally wins at least one game.
I'm sorry, it's plus 110. I'm sorry, I'm looking at plus 110. So it basically doubles your money.
Yes, and OKC normally wins at least one game in a blowout. So whatever the first close game is, the Pacers really got to get that one on the road.
Yeah, steal one. Doesn't have to be one of the first 2, but it certainly has to be at least one of them.
Yeah, if you get one.
1, 2, 5, or 7.
Yeah, your toes are tapping in terms of that's a pretty good bet.
Yeah, plus money.
Yeah, and I've got a Let's Get Nuts. I actually think this is an actually doable Let's Get Nuts for the series that we'll give on the show as well.
Okay,
So,
I'm here for it. And by the way, this is so fun, right? Sending the Knicks home has been enjoyable. It's been just bringing joy to my cold, dark heart, sending the no-good, rotten New York Knicks home, watching ESPN have an on-air funeral afterwards after they basically have a pep rally before the game.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to miss with the NBA leaving TNT. Like TNT's coverage, Shaq and Kenny and Barkley, they're pretty even kill dudes. ESPN, they brought out cheerleaders, basically. They showed Stephen A. Smith arriving at the arena like he was playing.
Isn't it going back to NBC, though?
NBC gets some, ESPN gets some, and then Amazon Prime gets some.
So we're getting the theme song and the AI voice guy, the voice guy, even though he's dead, through AI. We're bringing back the 90s childhood, right? The
Correct.
theme song and the voice
John
guy.
Tesh theme song. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
And Reggie's going to be the lead analyst for NBC's coverage.
I love it.
But not every game.
But not every game.
Yeah.
No, and ESPN, they're getting the guys from the popular show.
But here's the win for me. I don't get cable, but I do get NBC and I do get Amazon. So it'll be a huge win for me.
I'm surprised you get Amazon. Like, I didn't think you would be the pay for streaming guy.
Oh,
It's not him.
It's something through. Doesn't it have something to do with the shipping
Amazon
too?
Prime.
Yeah, something with the shipping. I don't know.
Has more to do with his wife shopping.
Yeah,
right.
It's included.
You won't pay for cheese on a burger, yet you're going to pay for a streaming outlet to watch the NBA.
Everything I own is because my wife said we have to have it.
Yeah.
I would own 2 pairs of shirts and pants, and that's it. But what's coming up this afternoon?
Guy Relford will join us. It is Monday Gun Day, and we'll talk more about this Pacers thing, man. I'm excited for it. Let's put on a show, and I think they got a shot.
Let's find the well-fed fella in the vest. Let's get him on the Hammer and Nigel
Let's
show.
get him.
Thanks, Hammer. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Talking on the phone is difficult if you've been exposed to loud noises over time. Combat veterans, factory workers, farmers, gun and motorcycle enthusiasts can have trouble hearing on the telephone. Relay Indiana helps return clarity to your phone conversations. A free service providing telecom accessibility, Relay Indiana allows hard of hearing users to have normal phone conversations through specially trained relay operators. Relay Indiana also provides free loaned equipment to those who qualify. Get the captioned telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit relayindiana.com now.
Pat Sullivan here with exciting news from my friends at Hope Plumbing, now known as Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hope now offers plumbing, heating, and air conditioning services, bringing total comfort to your home. No more dealing with multiple home service memberships. For only $8 a month, Hope is now your one-stop for safety and maintenance inspections and so much more. Make sure you're prepared for those Indiana summer heat waves with an AC tune-up by calling Hope Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today at 641-HOPE.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun, brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Trust employee owned. B Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to B.
Your local news coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios on 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock, and we join Fox News already in progress.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Suddenly I felt a lot of heat. I turned and I saw a person on fire.
Ed Victor was one of the marchers in a quiet protest against Israeli hostages being held in Gaza and Boulder, Colorado that was attacked. And he also tells Fox.
My immediate goal, as well as two or three other people, was to get the fire out. That's what we had to do. And we grabbed some flags, we grabbed some banners, did what we could.
Now, the attacker used a flamethrower and incendiary devices, shouting "Free Palestine." He's arrested and could face terror and hate crimes charges on top of the weapons and assault and murder charges, though we're told none of the 8 people burned and injured died.
3 senior DHS and ICE sources tell Fox the suspect, Mohammed Sabri Faraj Solomon, was in the United States illegally, having flown to California in 2022 on a non-immigrant visa.
And Fox's Alicia Cunha reports from Boulder that visa expired. Israel targeted Hamas again today in Gaza with airstrikes that Palestinian officials say killed 14 people. Russia and Ukraine had direct talks today in Turkey, though they've been far apart trying to work out a ceasefire. They did exchange proposals and are preparing a new prisoner swap along with thousands of bodies of dead soldiers as the war keeps raging.
Over the weekend, Ukraine launching drones targeting 4 military bases across Russia. Over 40 long-range bombers claimed to have been hit. In addition, 2 key bridges in Russia were also knocked out, leaving trains derailed, casualties, and destruction. Moscow also active, however, with its biggest joint air attack of the war. Nearly 500 drones plus missiles fired. A Ukrainian military base, one of the targets, leaving 12 soldiers killed and 60 injured.
Fox's Greg Palcott. The Supreme Court has rejected 2 appeals in gun-related cases, refusing to consider a challenge to a restriction on ammunition in Rhode Island that limits large-capacity magazines for firearms. And the justices also refused to take up a challenge to Maryland's ban on so-called assault-style weapons. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Sun now, but what's coming later? Along with the sunshine, it's 70 degrees in downtown Indy and 81 is the high today. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:02. This is a week you may need the umbrella in Indiana.
Well, there are pretty good chances that rain will return at times this week. It looks like Wednesday is really when our rain chances start to increase, and then we'll have elevated rain chances that continue into the weekend and possibly even into early next week as well.
Greg Mello with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says there are also some hazy skies because of the Canadian wildfire smoke. A woman was found dead early Sunday at a hotel pool on the west side of Indianapolis just after midnight. It was at the Courtyard Marriott on Fortune Circle West. The Marion County Coroner's Office identified her this morning as Shamari Thomas. She was 24 years old, and police are trying to figure out how Thomas died. The statewide average for gas today, $3.03 a gallon, according to Gas Buddy. That's down 16 cents from this time last week. As you might imagine, people in Indianapolis were thrilled to see the Indiana Pacers make the NBA Finals on Saturday night. This man is a Pacers season ticket holder.
We don't get our props. We got them tonight. They call us Naptown. We ain't sleep no more. Naptown Pacers!
Game 1 of the NBA Finals, when they face the Oklahoma City Thunder, is Thursday night. Not only are the Pacers hot, but so are these new sporting venues. Johnette Cruz reports.
With the Pacers heading into the NBA Finals, some local field houses are getting the boost they need. The Farmers Bank Fieldhouse, located in Lebanon, is a new 200,000 square foot sports complex. Home to the Lebanon Leprechauns, the Midwest division of the Basketball League, it's also a hub for youth athletics, promising economic growth and community engagement. This massive facility is part of a statewide boom in sports tourism, with similar complexes in Westfield and across Indiana aiming to draw visitors and investment. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And I'm John Herrick. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. It's 11:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Wheat Grow Hair Indy. You know, guys who are on top of their game choose Wheat Grow Hair Indy. People like Rajiv Ram, 2-time Olympic medal winner. Go to WeGrowHairIndy.com and you'll see who these champions are. Top radio personalities, coaches, former NFL players. They know We Grow Hair Indy had the technology and results to grow their hair back. I chose We Grow Hair Indy because I wanted to get my confidence back. And every time I look in the mirror, I'm so glad I made the choice to go to We Grow Hair Indy. And you can get your confidence back. It's so simple. Head over to WeGrowHairIndy.com today. Or call 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation, and you could be getting your confidence back. Be on top of your game and look like a champion. Call We Grow Hair Indy today. 317-522-2995.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Well, I called and I left a message.
Oh, good for you. And that's it. That's where we stand.
So this is by the way, it's Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. This is in regards to, as we began our show today, that there are allegations that have surfaced that a state senator here in Indiana, I've heard this now from multiple sources who do not know each other, or at least are not connected in any political sense, who have described the exact same scenario and details, that allegedly a state senator, who we still, as of right now, will not name, in order to allow this person to have time to address the allegations, which are clearly out there. His name is associated with it, but again, I'm not gonna name it right now. Everybody that has people who have corresponded with me directly have instigated it with the name. So how about I guess that'd be the way to describe it. That this senator was involved allegedly in a DUI during the legislative session. However, due to it's my understanding, not only is it a law, but it's in the state constitution, that these lawmakers have exempted themselves from prosecution during the legislative session, and 15 days before and 15 days after. This did not come to light until some people have started talking. Like I said, I would consider the first source very strong. It's someone who has given me information on other things that have proven to be correct. Doesn't mean they don't have their info wrong, but I've talked to people inside the State House who are not connected with this person, who have given the same details, and multiple people inside of the State House have told me they were aware of the allegation during the legislative session.
Okay.
Which means I would find it very hard to believe if not only rank and file lawmakers, but also rank and file state government workers were aware of these allegations, that the party leadership was not aware of the allegations as well. And yet somehow, it never made it to the ears of the public.
Well, we are well past 2 weeks after session.
That's right.
So the protection from Indiana Code Title 34, Article 29, Chapter 2, Section 1
if you want to get technical.
Right. Is no longer in place. And that means that this person can be held to account.
Yes, if indeed this happens.
Rather than that being abused to dodge accountability.
So what we have done yesterday, I emailed his office.
Mm-hmm.
Then today, I followed up with another email, or it may have been, I think it was last night. I think I did both emails last night. Doesn't matter. They were separate from each other after not getting a response. I have still not received a response. I followed up with a phone call to his office. There was no answer with his, I guess it would be his legislative assistant. I left a voicemail there, and look, I got a feeling there's got to be, I mean, they know it's out there. They being the leadership knows. He has to know it's out there. The fact that there's been no denial of this, I mean, that doesn't necessarily make you guilty of anything. But you would think if that, knowing that multiple members of the media have access, because I've also talked to members of the media who have it as well, outside of myself, even though I was the person that put the initial allegation out there that a state senator had been accused of this. That you would think there would be some sort of very swift denial of this if indeed it did not happen. But everybody's entitled to innocence until proven guilt is proven. I am still not comfortable naming this person yet. I'm hoping they will address it today. And then after that, we'll see what approach that we elect to take.
So you called and left a message with the office.
And you heard the message I left?
Yeah.
It was very polite.
The message you left at the State House, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, well, that person's not there, so...
Well, but
you're going to have their assistant, their LA.
That's who the message was left with. I believe it was a legislative assistant, which they are...
pass the message on to them, and they can decide whether they want to address it or not.
But the bigger story here is not this individual and whether they made a very poor choice or not. That's not the story. The story here, and what should outrage everyone, is that these people are exempted from any sort of accountability during not just the window they're in the session, but also windows outside of the session. And the excuse we were given was, well, they're concerned about, the lawmakers were concerned and put this in place because they don't want to run the risk of being arrested in order to keep them from voting. And I said, wait a second. Maybe in 1882, that was a viable concern. But what we're saying today is that the lawmakers are so concerned that Rod Bray and Todd Houston are so underhanded, are so without any sort of moral scruples whatsoever, that they would have members of the General Assembly arrested in order to not be able to cast votes. First of all, I don't believe that for a second. But if that's true, what does it say about the people that are casting the votes? And how would we believe they would cast any sort of moral vote
in your best interest?
In our best interest.
Right. It is legislation from a throwback era. And think about this. You don't get to delay any legal consequences, right? Because you're busy at work. The lawmakers do.
Right. That's the other part of it. Can you imagine if Casey Daniels or Rob Kendall were pulled over for a DUI? It would be the lead story. Indy Star would have our mugshot plastered, and that is part of a DUI. As long as you don't harm other people, they're not going to throw you in jail, in prison for life, right? You generally, people are given a probation. They're monitoring. They've got maybe their driving privileges. Even if you pull a Jim Lucas and you drive drunk, you flee the scene, you fib to the cops, you hide your automobile. I mean, even all that stuff. Not only nothing happened to him, he got, what was it, $50,000 or something like that for his reelection campaign.
Run again.
But the one thing that will last and should be a part of this is the public shaming that comes with there's radios talking about it and television and the newspaper, and there's a mugshot, and hopefully that'll prohibit you from doing this forward. If indeed this happened, this person has been able to avoid all of that and any sort of accountability for basically 5 months based on the timeline I was given of when this was alleged to have happened.
Absolutely. And what it does, it creates this double standard where elected officials play by different rules than citizens that they're supposed to represent.
And it makes it very hard. You have to have very reliable sources, give people like me information in order to try to prove this, because you can't go to my case and look it up. This stuff is withheld because they've exempted themselves. So now you've got to really go off of what is given to you, but then it doesn't appear anywhere publicly. And look, I have a lot more information that I have not utilized yet in order to prove or disprove these allegations, which I'm willing to do if this person wants to not respond. But we've tried every avenue thus far that we can to give them an opportunity to, hey, maybe they come out and say, absolutely not, that didn't happen, you old so-and-so, and I can't believe anybody would say that. Here's the other question. Based on the fact that members of the General Assembly knew this was alleged to have happened, how is it possible? Who's the president of the Senate, Casey?
It's the lieutenant governor.
How is it possible that the lieutenant governor, whose job it is to oversee the Senate, we've all seen how many days is he there whacking the gavel and calling the balls and strikes and the procedure? How is it possible? That means either he knew about it and hid it from everyone, which I don't think happened, or they think so little of him and view him as such a little irrelevant child.
He wasn't given the information.
They hid the info from him, and he's got so little eyes and ears on the ground that nobody told him. I mean, look, I don't know what other, since workers in the State House knew about it, the allegations, members of the General Assembly knew about it, the allegations. How is that possible? Okay, so we'll keep you updated. That's what we have right now.
So we're just waiting to hear back.
And this will not go away until it's addressed. So for whoever needs to hear that, this is not going to go away. And other members of the media have it as well. And so I'm hoping today that there'll be some sort of formal addressing of the allegations. Whatever way it is. If it happened, fine. If not that it's fine, but if it happened, address it. If it didn't happen, address that. And that way we can put this thing to bed.
Okay, is it a clone double or is it the real deal?
Trump is alluding to the fact that there was more than one Biden.
Correct.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that coming up from 93 WIBC.
In 49 states, it's just basketball, but this is Indiana.
It's been a quarter of a century since Indiana has gone to the finals.
I don't even have words right now, man. It's really exciting.
This team thrives in adversity, man.
All the credit to the Gainbridge Fieldhouse fans. You guys lifted us up today.
This place is absolutely electric.
Listen to the Pacers in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Coverage starts Thursday at 8, tip-off at 8:30 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
911, what's your emergency?
Por favor, necesito ayuda. Está borracho y creo que me va a pegar otra vez.
I will get someone to speak with you. Please stay on the line.
Hola, tengo su ubicación. Ayuda está en camino.
Getting past a language barrier is critical when first responders help Hoosiers. That's why the State 911 Board provides special tools for non-English speaking citizens to communicate with emergency services.
Si estás en peligro, aunque no hables inglés, podrás recibir ayuda en una emergencia rápidamente.
All Indiana 911 centers began offering translation services in over 240 languages in 2019. Now, people can send text messages for help in their native language to 911 and receive a translated text back from the dispatcher. It's of great help to the deaf and speech impaired and to those in select dangerous situations.
Cuando llame o envíe un texto al 911, un servicio de traducción se asegurará que entiendan lo que está diciendo.
For more information, visit in911.net.
Gracias.
911. Before you text, voice is best.
Hey guys, it's Rob. You know, it is June. That means summertime, and you're probably looking for something to do with your kids. Well, listen up, because Life Church has the answer. June 9th through the 13th, it's Vacation Bible School at all 4 of their convenient Central Indiana locations. Kids 4 years old through 5th grade. There'll be fun-filled Bible stories, games, snacks, and so much more where your kids will learn that Jesus points the way. He is the true north. Life Church, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. Vacation Bible School, June 9th through the 14th. Learn more on the web, lifechurchin.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Trust employee owned. B-Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to be.
Okay, so there's two Bidens now. Is that the allegation?
No, there's clones, doubles, and robotic entities. The real Joe Biden has apparently passed away in 2020. That's according to a social media post that Donald Trump shared on Truth Social, claiming that Joe Biden died in 2020 and has been replaced by clones, doubles, and robotic entities.
Okay, so let's address this because some people said, well, Saddam Hussein, Stalin, these people had body doubles. Not disputing that in any shape, form, or fashion. Saddam Hussein was not giving interviews or press gaggles that I'm aware of outside of some sort of state-run media institution.
Right.
Who would have been in on the, what were the kids' names? Uday and Qusay and the wacky Hussein boys. I mean, it's a little different. I mean, that is, and if you had a body double, you wouldn't be having him not be able to walk off stage. You wouldn't be able to
have one that could walk off stage.
You wouldn't be having him talk to dead people. See, this is where Trump does himself a disservice because Joe Biden had no business being president of the United States. He had absolutely no business being left on his own, much less running a country of whatever we are, 330 plus million people now. And that's all very viable and valid criticism that we have no idea who was actually running the country much of the past 4 years. I think there's clear evidence it wasn't Biden much of the time.
Yeah.
But you dilute that or take away from that when you put this ridiculous stuff out like he had a body double. It's clearly him.
So the post originated from a small account, and it was very speculative about Biden's health, calling the current Biden soulless and mindless. Trump didn't add any of his own words. He simply reposted it, added a picture of himself doing the peace sign.
Yeah, but I mean, that's so... Look, I get that fun and games and Trump's a different breed of president, but there is the idea of being presidential. And you're the same guy who's giving us information on international conflicts, life and death at the southern border, policies that will shape not just our economy, but the world economy. I'd like to think we have a little bit better discernment from that than some guy sharing a fringe conspiracy theory that is ludicrous when you say it out loud. If Joe Biden were acting like a normal person, okay, but did the Saddam Hussein body double not be able to walk off stage? Was Stalin's body double talking to dead people and able to remember who he was singing happy birthday to? You would not do that. It's ridiculous. And the problem is then it takes away from valid criticisms that we do need to focus on as a country.
So it does blur the line between trolling and conspiracy endorsement. And is that Trump's entire point, just to get everybody all worked up in a lather about this? Because obviously when he comments on it, it's going to bring attention to it. Now everybody is, trying to pick out, zooming in on pictures of Biden. Yeah, that's a mask. That's not really him.
Yeah, but this is not to say we in any way, shape, or form had good governance before Trump. I'm not in any way trying to make that case. But you've got to have an ability when you're in a position of certainly the presidency, but even any of these elected positions, you've got to bring a certain level of decorum to the process in order to coalition build. And a lot of times with Trump, and now as we have spelled out, it has worked its way down to these other elected officials who saw it be successful for Trump, and they think it's their key to the next thing. The attention, the publicity is far more important than the governance that you're elected to do. And with Trump, if the goal is coalition building, there are a lot of people out there who like many of his policies. They don't like the style in which he does things like this. Well, if you've already got the people in your camp who are the, hardcore Trump people, why wouldn't you be? I'm not talking about compromising your principles. I'm talking about the way you're reaching the public. Why would you be doing things like this that are going to alienate you from people, and did the last time alienated you from people who otherwise might like what you have to do or say?
It is a new level of political theater, right? And I don't know. It does make you stop and go, yeah, I don't know. But it's interesting that on one side, he's saying that he wishes Biden a speedy recovery. And then just a few days later, he's saying, oh, that's not really him. That's a clone.
Yeah. And we are talking about it, which again, if your goal is just attention all the time, which aren't we talking about that here on a local level? About state politicians who their goal is just give me the attention all the time, even if it's bad attention or doesn't make me look professional or doesn't push forward.
No such thing as bad publicity.
Well, if that's your goal. But if your goal is to coalition build and
get something done
and push policy forward, because with Trump, we should be talking about policies that are making America better. We should be talking about how those things are going to help. Instead, yes, we're talking about Trump, but we're talking about Trump regardless. We're always talking about the president. That's what we do. But you should want that to be, here's the great things that are going on, rather than the oxygen in the room being sucked up and dedicated to, now he's saying there was more than one Joe Biden.
So the press secretary said that Jill Biden helped cover up Biden's condition.
I think, frankly, the former First Lady should certainly speak up about what she saw in regards to her husband and when she saw it and what she knew. Because I think anybody looking, again, at the videos and photo evidence of Joe Biden with your own eyes and a little bit of common sense can see this was a clear cover-up. And Jill Biden was certainly complicit in that cover-up. There's documentation, video evidence of her clearly shielding her husband away from the cameras. They were just on The View last week. She was saying everything is fine. She's still lying to the American people. She still thinks the American public are so stupid that they're going to believe her lies. And frankly, it's insulting, and she needs to answer for it.
No argument with any of that. The problem is you dilute that message when you do what Trump did.
When you say that he was a clone.
Right. The question that would have accomplished much more would be, why did Joe Biden talk to a dead U.S. representative? Why couldn't Joe Biden walk off the stage? Why did Joe Biden say happy birthday, Velvet? I mean, these are all things that are very viable that spark conversation. Trump's going to spark conversation no matter what he puts out there. Why not keep that focus on things that are actually beneficial, that the American public does deserve to know about?
So former President Bill Clinton, he was on CBS Sunday Morning, and he was rejecting any claims about Biden's cognitive decline.
Did you see this?
I did.
He looks really...
Do you want to hear it?
Well, yeah. I mean, he sounds bad too. Yeah, I mean, he does not look well.
Well, I mean, do you think he's getting
that's a good point.
Care at home?
Yes, look at who his wife is. Good point. All right, what did Bill Clinton have to say?
All right.
Speaking of aging, there's this book that came out that talks about Joe Biden and the people around him seeing that he had cognitive and physical decline. Did you ever have a moment with him where you thought maybe he was unfit to run for president? No.
I thought he was a good president. The only concern I thought he had to deal with was, could anybody do that job until they were 86? And we'd had several long talks. I had never seen him and walked away thinking he can't do this anymore. He was always on top of his brief.
You never saw any cognitive decline?
So I didn't know anything about any of this, and I haven't read the book. I saw President Biden not very long ago, and I thought he was in good shape. But the book didn't register with me because I never saw him that way.
Why didn't you read the book?
I didn't want to, because he's not president anymore. And I think he did a good job. And I think we are facing challenges today without precedent in our history. And some people are trying to use this as a way to blame him for the fact that Trump was reelected.
Of course, Biden was talking. He gave his speech, his first speech since his cancer diagnosis, and he's saying that he could have beaten any challenger.
Well, but then he called himself incompetent and claimed he couldn't walk. I want to go back to this Clinton thing, though. This is why people, I mean, just stop bullcrapping people. Like these politicians, none of them can just stop bullcrapping people. Just look at, people would have so much more respect for you and your party if you said, hey, the guy got in there. I mean, at least make it a good lie, right? Like you say, hey, the guy got in there. He was clearly slipping. We wanted to try to keep the country rolling in the direction we were. We thought we could ride with him. It didn't work out. Clearly, in hindsight, we should have stepped in. We didn't do it. We'll learn from it. We got to be better the next time. Boom. Instead, they do this stuff like, I didn't see it. Every single day on this show, it was a daily thing where he was doing something that was utterly ridiculous, that if your grandparent were doing it, you would say they cannot be by themselves. And even now he's out of office and they can't stop lying.
So look at Bill Clinton, and you could hear his voice. He sounded, he was full of exuberance, right? He was speaking quietly and softly and slowly. Not the Bill Clinton that you remember.
But at least he was forming sentences.
He was, but do you know how old Bill Clinton is?
He's got to be late 70s. I would say Bill Clinton is 70. Okay, Landon, I don't know if you know about this. Landon's in for Kevin this week. We do what we call Price is Right rules. When Casey asks us, you guess. Person gets the closest.
Without going over.
Yeah, loses. So, Landon, I will let you go first. How old do you think Bill Clinton is?
I'm going to say he is... I'm going to say he's 80.
Okay, you'll say he is 80. I think you're definitely over, so I will guess lower than what I actually think just to win, which is 74.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's 78.
Okay, I would have guessed 77 or 78.
You were afraid you would
But I don't want to go over. I already had the
Landon,
thing one.
you definitely went over. But to Bill...
Even though you'd have been closer. Yeah, 78 would be right, because Hillary was 60 in 2008. Because this is how ridiculous this has gotten. I remember 2008, people talking about how old and tired she looked, and Bill Clinton saying, well, you see how you look at 60. Isn't that crazy, the things you remember? So I figured he had to be a little older than her.
Well, he's younger than Joe Biden. And so to him, he's saying, no, Joe Biden looks good to me.
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, he's comparing it to himself, perhaps.
I have an offer for you when we come back.
Oh.
I think it's an offer
you'll
take me
involved?
up on. No, it's pride and human decency.
Okay. It's Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
When the rain could show up, it's mostly sunny and 71 in downtown Indy. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30. It's possible again all throughout Indiana this week, especially on Wednesday.
Yeah, so there's a low chance for strong to severe storms on Wednesday. It looks like mainly Wednesday afternoon into the evening hours. The chance is relatively low, but we can't rule out a few strong to severe storms.
Greg Mello with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says the primary threat is damaging wind gusts. Hazy skies are also supposed to happen across the state this week because of the Canadian wildfire smoke. Those fires have caused more than 25,000 people to be evacuated across Manitoba, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. Firefighters from Alaska, Oregon, and Arizona have traveled to Canada to help put the fires out. And Philadelphia Eagles running back Saquon Barkley will be on the cover of Madden NFL 26. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a D-SNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A D-SNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials, too. With a Humana D-SNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Summers in Indy are great, but don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint. And the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house, and all the pillars and everything. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
With Rhino Shield's 25-year transferable warranty, you'll never have to paint your home again. And right now, you can get 10% off the regular price.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and if you don't want to paint the house, that would be the way to go.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
If you have a snoring problem or sleep apnea, odds are you have blockage in both your throat and your nose. Now, for those who've gone elsewhere and wonder why their issues aren't getting better, this is where the problem lies. Because the true root of your problem very well may be your nose. We believe we'll find that your nose isn't working the way it should. And once we do get your nose working, your CPAP mask can finally work, or you can lose that CPAP mask altogether. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent, where we offer every effective snoring and sleep apnea solution available, including simple in-office procedures that can get your nose and your throat working properly. It's a simple concept. If you're going to get your best sleep, you have to be able to breathe well. Go to adventknows.com to schedule an appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
As a caregiver, managing your loved one's health can at times be overwhelming. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. In a moment, I'll share 3 tips to help you manage your loved one's medical care effectively.
Cardon & Associates offers the finest senior living options tailored to your loved one's needs. Reservations are now being accepted for new apartments at Copper Trace in Westfield. Visit cardon.com.
Tip number 1, keep a list of all medications, dosages, and schedules to ensure your loved one is taking their medication correctly. Second, attend doctor's appointments with your loved one when you're able. And finally, stay organized by keeping forms, notes, and other important documents in one secure place. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access the library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
City water or well water, get better water with C&J. Best prices of the year at C&J. Great systems, great people too. Just call them 317-733-SOFT.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
Question.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do this if you don't want to.
Okay.
There's no pressure. I mean, sure, you haven't worked in a week and a half, but I'm not going to put any pressure on you to do any extra work.
Right.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show, by the way. I'm Rob. That's Casey. I'm getting a little pissed off now because,
Why is that?
Well, I've emailed.
Because it's Monday?
Well,
no. Why?
You know, for me, Casey, I work way harder on the weekends because I got to run the daddy daycare service for 2 straight days.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy. A kid about to turn 2 is a lot of work.
You think? She getting her own opinion on things?
I just, they never run out of energy.
No, they don't.
Like something on a never-ending battery.
Mm-hmm. But she's cute.
She is. She's adorable. Looks like her mother. Good for her. Isn't that weird how kids flip? When she came out of the womb, she looked just like me. And
I see both of you in her.
Well, yeah.
I think she looks like you too.
Well, I don't want her to walk around with that for the rest of her life. Somebody told me that, and it's true. It's God's way of doing the paternity test. A child comes out looking like whoever the father is, so that you will forever know. And we took a photo together, and gosh darn it, Case, that's I think you've seen the photo in question. It's no doubt, no doubt that's mine. Okay, but it is. I'm starting to get pissed off because in regards to this senator who allegedly got the DUI during session, which couldn't be prosecuted for because of the law that prevents the legislators from being basically detained during the legislative session or days.
Are you talking about Indiana Code Title 34, Article 29, Chapter 2, Section 1?
Yeah, that one. So I emailed, got no response. Emailed again, not response. Phone called, left a message, got no response. I'm thinking when we get off the air, we'll just walk over there. We'll just ask in person.
Nobody's going to be over there.
Well, somebody will be there. I mean, somebody's in the Senate offices.
Some security person.
Well, that's
will be
fine.
there.
We'll
Okay.
just we'll ask. Maybe I'll type something up. Just dear Senator so and so. And can you just leave this with them? That way we know they got it.
Are you going to do it on a blank piece of paper with a black Sharpie?
Should I do that?
Yeah.
Would that make it even more? I mean, they're clowns, so why don't we do it in a clown-like manner?
Put a gold star on top.
Well, I did that for Braun with the Doge.
I know.
And you saw how far that got me.
Well, it's true.
I mean, so let me...
He said he was going to hang that in his office. Maybe we'll stop by his office and ask
he
to see it.
Doused it in gas and then lit it on fire in his office. I'm trying to think of, if I do this out loud, I don't want to reveal who the person is yet. Dear Senator so-and-so, I have attempted to contact your office multiple times. I got no response. I've heard multiple allegations that you had a DUI during session. Can you confirm or deny? Thanks, R. Is that good?
Yeah.
Will that be a good note? Should I write it?
I think so.
Should I write it or type it?
I think you should just write it.
With a Sharpie?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it during
Save
break.
yourself some time, especially if you're trying to get me to go with you. I'm on a schedule here. We got to, let's go.
All right, so I don't want you to feel pressure. I'm going to go regardless, but I just thought you might want to get some exercise.
What? I do want to go with you.
What do you, like, you never heard that? Like when you're a kid, your grandma's like, you need to stretch your legs, you need to get out of the house. Yeah, this is your version of getting out of the house.
Okay. Get out of the house and walk over to the State House.
There you go.
That sounds like a good time.
Very good.
We'll do that. See if we can get you an answer.
Thank you.
I think you should, change your expectations.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. Now I can set, but what happens today will set my parameters for what takes place tomorrow.
Fantastic.
Very good.
Okay. And that directly affects me as I create tomorrow's show
So
template.
you're doing yourself a favor.
Right. Okay. I'll have the information firsthand. Love it. We'll do that.
Very good.
We'll go to the State House. So did you see that the ratings for MSNBC plummeting as well as CNN?
We did. Now,
do you guys talk about this? Jen Psaki, her show. I saw something that said that it was being canceled.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's true or
Internet
not.
myth. I saw nothing to confirm that. Now, we did very briefly, Spanglish and I did touch on this on Friday. But what it really is showing is how these networks and the corporations that own them are so agenda-driven because they keep changing the lineup. It's not the lineup. It's the content of what the people are providing, and the majority of Americans don't want to hear it. They just don't. They simply don't want to hear what you have to say. So no matter who peddles the message, it's just like switching out Biden and putting in Kamala. There's no way to make that message sound good.
So I saw this article. It said Tom Lamas on taking over NBC Nightly News from Iron Pants Lester Holt. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. I had no idea that Lester Holt was leaving.
Oh, yeah? You didn't know that?
Didn't know that his nickname was Iron Pants. Didn't know that Tom Lamas was taking over for him. And
Who's Tom Lamas?
Exactly. And is it really going to change anything?
No.
Is that going to make you go, oh, I'm going to watch now?
There was a time, and obviously Walter Cronkite was the pinnacle of this. But even when I was a kid, when it was Tom Brokaw and who's the guy who lied for CBS, Dan Rather, and then who was Peter Jennings.
Yeah.
Where that was still I remember as a kid, the nightly news in the 90s, 80s and 90s. I remember the nightly news being on and that being on in the background in your home. And that was where a lot of information would come from. I remember my parents getting the Indianapolis Star in the morning, and it was the news, the Indianapolis News was at night, and the nightly news that played on the TV. And then obviously in my house, WIBC was a big thing, and listening to WIBC as a kid, and that's where your information came from. Now, other than a select genre of people who are aging I'm trying to come up with a polite way to say this. They're aging out of that being a news. Let's face it, it's Twitter, it's Facebook, it's social media, it's your favorite internet websites, whether it's Drudge or The Hill or if you want to get in specific, Breitbart or whatever, Politico, where people are getting there well ahead of when it's delivered on the nightly news.
So part of it is that you're fragmented from where you get your information. So it's not just the message.
And most people think it's a
platform.
bullcrap anyway. How many times have these networks been proven to be completely partisan in the way they're... Look at the Kamala Harris thing where they edited that tape that they're involved in the lawsuit over. Was it CBS that did that, where Trump is suing them?
Yeah.
It's just no reasonable...
60 Minutes.
Yeah, nobody reasonable person believes they're getting unbiased, fair news, which if you had a network that actually did that, I think it's one of the reasons Fox, while their opinion-based stuff leans right, I think their actual news is pretty good in terms of the way they deliver the news itself. But I haven't had cable in, I don't know, close to 10 years probably. I haven't had cable television. And my life goes on just fine. I read all day. I read the internet. I read articles. That's where I get my information from. One of the WIBC does news as a part of what we do on this program each day. So you have the need to know info, and much of the stuff they talk about on the news, we comment on, but the nuts and bolts of the programming here is commentary driven.
Right.
And we don't lie to you and tell you we're not biased. We're totally biased. We have bias on everything. But the difference between us and those networks is we're not bullcrapping
It's an
you.
opinion show.
Yes, we give it to you. We tell you. We want you to think the way we do. We're trying to get you to think the way that we do.
But news doesn't do that.
Right.
They do that, although they don't tell you they're doing
That's
that.
right. That's correct.
So Comcast is even spinning off MSNBC, right, into a publicly traded company. So the parent company doesn't even want this anymore.
Well, it's somebody had talked about buying. Was it Musk or somebody? And we had laid out the cost of buying it versus just starting a new television operation. Now, you wouldn't immediately be on all the cable channels, et cetera, but you could grow that. You could grow that over time for a fraction of the cost of what it would cost to buy MSNBC. And the brand is it's on life support. Nobody's going to want that and be able to make it something great. Just start your own.
Yeah, you'd have to completely rebrand if that's what you were going to do.
Entertainment, and you will back me up on this because you've been in this business longer than I have, and you've been in management. You have decided whether people stay in the business or not. Our business is a mixture of two things. It's trust with your audience and the ability to entertain them. We are number one because people trust we're going to give you our opinion on things. We're going to give you the world as we see it. We're not going to lie to you. We're not going to mislead you. Sometimes opinions we take, the audience loves, sometimes they don't. But we also do it in a manner where you want to hear what we have to say. We're going to entertain you as we do it. So even if you don't agree with us, you go, well, that was interesting. That was fun. Who else is going to do the story about this lawmaker allegedly getting a DUI the way that we've done it? Nobody else is going to do that. Who's going to cover Tiptoe Diego the way that we do? Nobody's going to do that. And you're giving people something they can't get anywhere else. That's why WIBC remains strong. We give people stuff they can't get anywhere else. And these news companies are just giving you biased, liberal bent news that you can get anywhere.
Right. It's the same message, just presented in a different way. So Simon Cowell has appeared in a promotional video.
Did he get the fat shot?
What is going on with him? Because a lot of people are very, I guess, concerned. He admittedly uses Botox and fillers, but he looks a lot different than he used to.
Let's take a break and talk about this because I didn't really even recognize him.
Okay.
And I don't think that's good.
All right. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, terrorism in Colorado, but the left doesn't see it that way. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-251-1912. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 463-251-1912. That's 463-251-1912.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
Are you planning for your retirement? Ensure you're on the right track with a crucial step, tax planning. At Absolute Wealth Management, LLC, every retirement plan we design includes comprehensive tax planning. Imagine maximizing your savings while minimizing tax burdens. Tax planning isn't just about the present. It's a cornerstone for retirement planning. The less you have to give to Uncle Sam, the more cash flow you have in retirement. So take control of your financial situation. Proper tax planning can help optimize your retirement income, leaving you with more time to enjoy the life you've worked hard for. Let us help you create a tax-efficient retirement plan. Your future self will thank you. Call Absolute Wealth Management, LLC, 317-288-0634. That's 317-288-0634. Or visit AbsoluteWealthManagementLLC.com. William Gonzalez offers investment advisory service through Gradient Advisors, LLC, 877-885-0508, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Absolute Wealth Management is not a registered investment advisor nor an affiliate of Gradient Advisors. Gradient Advisors, LLC, and its advisors do not render tax, legal, or accounting advice. Insurance offered through William Gonzalez, independent agent.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hey, this is Malia. We often get asked when is the best time to buy, and the answer is today, not tomorrow. With rising utility costs, rising product costs, and missed opportunity costs, which you could be saving with a high-efficiency system. Give us a call today to schedule your free in-depth estimate, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
If you used to hear a whole lot of this, but now you can barely hear this, you need to check out RelayIndiana.com and the Caption Telephone. The Caption Telephone allows you to get your groove back when using the telephone. It uses voice recognition technology so you can read on a bright screen what the other caller is saying. Go to RelayIndiana.com and add clarity back into your conversations with the Caption Telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Summer clean with Zero Res. Get 3 rooms cleaned starting at just $129 plus $75 off air duct cleaning. Call 317-388-5141, ZeroResIndy.com.
You support them. Who supports you? Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide insight, encouragement, and resources to help you navigate a loved one's recovery on the Supporting Sobriety podcast. Listen and get support wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, I've got my letter drafted.
Good.
Did it very quick. I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
So you typed it out.
Yeah, real quick. Because
Okay.
I type a lot faster than I write.
Okay.
And you've seen my writing.
Yes, this is true.
It's not great.
Yeah.
Um,
So we're going to take that over to the State House.
Yeah, so for those of you who've been not following along today, there have been serious allegations that a senator received a driving under the influence during the legislative session, state senator, and that due to a law, part of the Indiana Constitution, that forbids lawmakers from being held accountable during the session or 15 days before and after, this case has yet to become public. And I have tried to reach this person and their office via electronic correspondence twice, no response, phone correspondence, no answer, no return phone call as of yet. So Case and I decided we're going to walk over a letter and drop it off. I'll read it to you if you would like.
Yes,
All right.
please.
Senator Blank, we're not naming the person yet. We're still giving them the opportunity to respond before we name this person. My name is Rob Kendall. I co-host the Kendall Casey Show, heard 9 a.m. to noon weekdays on 93.1 WIBC in Indianapolis. Multiple sources have alleged you received a DUI during the legislative session, but the case is yet to proceed due to protections given to lawmakers during and 15 days before and after the session. I'm requesting comment/clarification on if you were pulled over for driving under the influence and what the status of the case is if the allegations are true. I've attempted to reach your office both electronically and by phone, but have yet to receive a response. Also, do you believe it is right that lawmakers are given special protections not afforded to the public, which make transparency in these matters very difficult?
Okay. Nice.
That's professional, right?
Yeah, nice job.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You know what answer you're going to get? None of your business.
Well, Diego finally responded to us. You remember that? You didn't think he was going to do that, now did you?
Are you Diego or Diego's communications?
Well, yeah, that's right. We don't even know if Diego can actually write. All right.
We'll see.
Should I just email? Should I put my phone number down there too?
Absolutely.
Phone number?
Yeah, you need to put your number and email.
Okay, very good.
They need a way to contact you,
That's
right?
true, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
That will be ignored in the order it was received, I'm sure.
Should I sign it? Do you sign a letter like that?
Yeah.
Rob Kendall, HMFIC. Is that my title?
HMFIC.
Oh, you never heard that?
No.
Oh, Carl's heard it. He thinks it's funny.
What's that mean?
Well, I'll tell you when we get off the air.
Oh, okay. It's one of those things. How did you sign it? Respectfully or?
I just put my name. Do I put
hugs
sincerely?
And kisses?
Oh, sincerely?
Sincerely.
You always put thank you for your. What do you put? You put something nice on all yours.
I always say respectfully.
Oh, respectfully, but I don't have any respect for these people.
Right.
But I'm sincerely asking this question, so I'll go with that.
You go with sincerely, wistfully.
Rob Kendall.
Thank you for your consideration.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
Good job.
You approve. You will not be embarrassed to be seen with me.
Well, I didn't say that.
Okay.
But I approve of the letter. So Simon Cowell put out a video, and it's going viral now. This after fans began mentioning how he appears unrecognizable in the new video.
He's so skinny.
He is. He chalks it up to better eating and hydration. Many people were saying, what's going on with him? Is he had work done or is he sick or something? He used to do a lot of Botox and he's had plastic surgery, but he says there's no fillers in him now. And it's just au naturel.
How old is Simon Cowell? What is he?
68.
Okay, look,
is that right?
It's not.
Oh, I didn't let you play the game that time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. We're running short on time anyway. But it's not normal at that age to be losing all of that weight. It's one thing to get in shape. He's 65.
65.
Yeah, he'll be 66 this year. It's not normal at that age to be losing that amount of weight. Yeah, that's. I call BS.
He says it's healthy eating and hydration.
I can't believe you've never heard of HMFIC.
No, I'm gonna have.
You're
going to
start using that on all your emails.
HMFIC. I don't know it.
I'll tell you when we get off there.
Okay. Thank you, Rob.
Landon, great job today.
We'll
Thanks,
catch you back
Appreciate
here tomorrow. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Do you have an idea for a book? Fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Torrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. We are cleaning out inventory. Save up to 50% off Lazy Boys, Smith Brothers, and Flex Steel. And if it's in stock, save up to an extra 25% off. Save up to 20% off Berlin Gardens and Pollywood Outdoor Furniture. And save up to 50% off floor sample mattresses, including Tempur-Pedic. First come, first serve. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Garage door problems? Call today for